Hey everyone, Brian from Three Geeky Dads here. Before we begin tonight's episode, I just want everyone to know that we are now sponsored by Audible. As an IT professional for a school department, I find myself behind the wheel of my car traveling between schools almost all day long, and that's where Audible comes in. Right now, I'm enjoying listening to Douglas Adams' Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, read by Stephen Fry. It's so enjoyable to hear this hilarious audiobook read by a proper British comic actor. And that's just scratching the surface. Audible is the leading provider of spoken word content, with everything from bestsellers, celebrity memoirs, and news to podcasts. Yes, if you're into podcasts, and you're listening to us right now, so we can assume you do, Audible has got you covered. Just go to www.audibletrial.com/3GD to get your free 30-day trial today. That's www.audibletrial.com/3GD to get your free 30-day trial. You'll get 1 credit, 2 credits if you're already an Amazon Prime member. That's good for any premium selection titles you like, and they're yours to keep. You also get the Audible Plus catalog of podcasts, audiobooks, guided wellness, and Audible originals. Listen all you want. No credits needed. Again, that's www.audibletrial.com/3GD. $14.95 a month after your 30-day trial. Cancel at any time. Audible. Stay informed, connected, and inspired. And now, on with the show.
Warning, incoming dad joke. Warning, incoming dad joke.
So guys, little known fact, Tony Todd had real bees on him and he got paid $1,000 for every sting he got. And he ended up with $23,000 total.
Well,
that's fair, right?
Yeah,
I guess that's in the eye of the bee holder.
Oh boy.
Bees.
Happy, happy Halloween, 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 happy, happy Halloween, Silver Shamrock. Happy, happy Halloween, 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 happy, happy Halloween, Silver Shamrock.
It's almost time, kids. The clock is ticking. Tune into your favorite podcast for the Halloween episode. Don't miss it. And don't forget to put on your headphones. The clock is ticking. It's almost time.
Happy, happy Halloween, 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 happy, happy Halloween, Silver Shamrock. Happy, happy Halloween, 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 happy, happy.
Good evening, and welcome, all you children of the night, to another ghoulish episode of Three Geeky Dads, the show that will scare you out of your pants while begging us to keep ours on. I am Mark, and with me, as always, are the big and bad to my wolf,
Derek?
And Brian.
and joining us, as always, to say F you to math and the accuracy of our show title, the man who has all the ladies howling while he's on the prowling. Made him much creepier than I meant that to be. Sorry. Hey, Tito, how are you?
No, it's cool.
Are you creeping along?
Yeah, I strike fear into the hearts of all ladies.
You certainly have. Some men, too.
They grip their keys really tight around
that's
Tito.
right.
Well, when I pull out my razor blade, I mean,
I think it's that Wolfman Jack haircut you're sporting.
It's party time.
How is everybody? Derek, welcome back.
Thank
first
you.
off.
I missed you guys.
I hope you had fun.
It was a blast.
Chromeo and
Dude,
Crulia.
if you ever have a chance, the midnight.
The midnight, that's right.
Yeah, no, Chromeo was there. I just didn't stay. But the midnight was awesome.
All the
So
jokes
Chromeo
we
was the
told.
headliner, but you only stayed for the opening act.
Kind of headline. They're not
Okay.
really they're both on the same level. so-
Co-headlining?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would they like switch off different nights?
I don't know.
Maybe? I've
I
seen
think
shows do that.
Yeah,
before.
maybe certain shows
Take turns.
Chromeo goes on first. It's probably for the best. There was definitely more Midnight fans than Chromeo. It
Yeah.
was a little to the point where it was almost sad.
Oh,
Aw.
poor
And
Chromeo.
I wasn't the only one that left early. So,
Really?
Yeah. Sorry, Chromeo, but
Next
love you
time.
the Midnight.
I feel kind of bad for Chromeo.
Yeah.
Not really.
How
How about what's going on in the sports world? How's fantasy football treating you boys?
What's your record looking like?
I haven't
You
even done
looked at
anything.
it?
I haven't looked at it. I
I
don't
feel
even
like
wanna
you
look
might
at
have
it.
backed into some wins if we left your lineup
Yeah?
the way it was. We'll take a look at
We'll
it.
see.
though.
We'll see.
It's been a while. I haven't seen Derek, and I forget
Yeah, at least
because
2
I
weeks.
haven't seen
'cause-
him.
Right. We took a week
to
off, and then I
text
was.
him, and then like Sunday rolls around, and I'm like, oh, Derek.
I wonder how Derek's
Oh,
doing.
I forgot the
lineup,
forgot the lineup.
That's all right. It's still early in the year.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that concludes the music and sports portion of
Drake
our
May
show.
starting this weekend.
Yeah, we aim to please. Tonight we
right.
continue our journey through the spooky season with a month of something old and something new as we talk movies, both original and remake. On tap this evening, we are taking a trip to Caprini Green, which may sound like a fine Italian restaurant in the North End, but is in fact the home of the malevolent spirit, the Candyman.
Hey, who are you, Mother Caprini?
Hey, Mother Caprini, yeah? I make it a nice Caprini, with duck on the side.
Caprini salad. What's that?
Candyman, a wicked Willy Wonka who offers killing over candy and is perfect for us to talk about tonight as we look at the 1992 classic starring Tony Todd and the 2021 remake sequel starring Yahya Abdul-Mateen. The second.
The second or
He's
third.
the second.
The second.
He was
Second of his name.
Black Manta from Aquaman. Sorry.
That's right.
I'm
That's right.
very uncultured.
You know, if you Google the name, it'll tell you how to say it.
Yahya. But over here, Yahya. Okay. Well, I have the H.
Don't confuse him with Yo-Yo Ma.
Yo-Yo Ma.
Because the H makes the ya.
Yahya.
Yeah.
Hiya.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Like a-
that guy.
like a
Why have the H
stallion.
on the dough? Dough has got an H. It's there for a reason.
For emphasis.
Homer Simpson doesn't say
Emphasis on the wrong
po, he
syllable.
says do. Duh-oh. Yeah, that'll work. But before we grab our hooks and smear ourselves with bees and honey, our own honey
the
of
bees.
hibachi and head cheese, Brian has prepared a yummy appetizer to start us off.
Hibachi
Brian,
and head cheese.
Hibachi and head cheese.
Damn.
Yahya.
Honey, oh boy, honey, that's what Tiggers like best.
I was afraid of that.
Say. Yuck! Tiggers don't like honey.
Not going to your cookout, that's for damn sure.
Well, that is good.
Don't knock it until you try it. Yeah, squirt some sucky in your mouth with some head cheese. Sucky. Here's some head cheese. Sucky.
I've never had head cheese. What is head cheese?
It is-
That's brains.
Yeah.
Head of
No.
a cow. Head of a
Yeah.
cow.
And here, with his bird's eye view and a brain to match, is Mr. Know-It-All.
I thought head cheese was the shit that like grows around your dick if you don't wash yourself.
No.
Yeah.
That's
People
dick
don't
cheese.
eat. That's
Yeah.
dick cheese.
That's not head cheese.
That's not head
Oh.
cheese to eat.
You can
I
actually
thought that was head cheese.
No,
that
you
they
can
grow
actually
by the
get
grocery
head
store.
cheese at the meat market.
All right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
it's
don't
a thing
buy
you buy at the
dick
grocery
cheese
store.
at
And
the
I
grocery
thought-
store, not even in Aldi's. Come on.
Even they've got a line.
Not even
thought-
at a Save Right.
I thought brains was sweet bread. I thought that's what that was
Yeah,
called.
it's the same.
All right.
Yeah.
But it's also head cheese?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
I think it might be a different animal's brains. You never know.
Yeah.
Oh, possible. Couldn't say.
Yeah. And stay away from the tripe, too.
This concludes the cooking portion of our show.
Tonight, as Mark mentioned, we're going to be looking in a mirror and saying Candyman 5 times in a row. Derek fucked up, though, and yelled Beetlejuice 3 times, and now we've really got a problem on our hands.
I'm the ghost with the most, babe.
Anyway,
We got Beetle Man.
saying Candyman 5 times while looking in a mirror and waiting for the conjured spirit to appear is very similar to the Bloody Mary urban legend, and that got us to thinking about some of our favorite urban legends.
Well said.
Nice.
Believe it is Tito.
Yeah, Brian.
Yeah, I went
yeah.
first last week.
I'm going the 27 Club. It's one of my favorite
Yeah, that is a good one.
Good
urban
pick.
legends. Is
I had that too.
musicians that die at the age of 27.
Oh, I don't know this one.
Some
Wow.
notables: Jimi Hendrix, Brian Jones of the Rolling Stones,
Yep.
Janis Joplin, the OG Bobby Johnson, sold his soul to the devil to play the guitar.
At the Crossroads.
All the
At the
crossroads.
Crossroads.
They made a movie of that.
That's
with
right.
Ralph Macchio, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kurt Cobain, Amy Winehouse,
Bang.
Cobain.
Mama
Yep.
Cass, right?
Mama
I don't know if
Cass
she
was
Cass on that?
27?
No, I don't think she was
No,
27.
You can't blame a ham sandwich on a curse, man.
You know,
slow
fun
down.
fact,
You're
if
gonna-
Mama Cass had only shared half of her ham sandwich with Karen Carpenter, they'd probably both still be alive today.
Or they could have both choked. What if it was the ham?
Oh, maybe.
Then we would have been without Cass and Carpenter.
The ham turned.
No,
Some others, Basquiat died at 27. Jonathan Brandis died at 27. Not
Oh, that's
musicians,
right.
but
Oh.
Yeah, because it
Notable.
did expand into like actors and stuff.
How old was River Phoenix? Well, he didn't make it, I knew that.
19,
I don't think he made the club.
20.
Oh, he made a club, all right, but it wasn't the 27 Club.
the Viper
It was
Room.
the Viper Room.
Hey,
I blame Johnny Depp. for
Johnny
that one.
Depp killed him.
He was only 23.
23.
okay.
Thanks for bringing the podcast down.
Wow.
Close.
He was even
We
younger
were
than
bringing
thought.
it.
I didn't think he
Thanks,
was
man.
that young either.
Wow.
Sorry.
17. He was only 17 years old.
Who? Jonathan
No, he
Brandis?
was 23.
I made it.
23.
No, Jonathan Brandis
27.
is 27.
Yeah.
So that's mine.
That's yours? That's good. Well, okay then.
27 club. Going strong.
Good pick.
Mine is There's Someone in the Back Seat. They did this for the opening of Urban Legend,
yeah.
and they did it beautifully, and I love this fucking story. It is so creepy. Still creeps me out to this day, and I do check the back seat of my car at night every time I get in.
I think of that scene every time I hear that song. That
Total Eclipse of the Heart.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Brad Dorff. Someone's in the back seat. Yeah, it's a great legend.
He's so good too.
Yeah, for those who don't know, the story is that there's a guy, there's a woman driving in the car, and usually it's a person in another car or somebody at a gas station. It's a very creepy individual who's trying to get into the car. Or if they're already in the car, trying to get their attention.
Someone's like flashing the lights.
Flashing the lights, swerving on the side. And she finally escapes thinking she's free of danger, and it turns out the stranger in the car at the gas station is trying to warn her that there's someone in the back seat with an axe. And that's just a great short story. That's a 1 minute short story right there.
That's right.
And it's one of the best.
1 minute horror story.
Yeah. Love it.
Nice. So growing up, when I would go to summer camp, we had this legend, Screwy Louie. Camp Squano and Camp Catch-A-Lot were built. They've been there for years. But
Catch a lot of what?
Catch a lot of something. But there's not a mental institute, but like a rehab center kind of thing for criminals that they have in Miles Standish, and so kids used to say they would talk about Screwy Louie, who broke out one year and massacred a bunch of campers. But I think that it really, because of the time period that happened, I think that actually came from Zeke the Plumber. Do you remember Zeke the Plumber?
I do not know.
No,
Zeke the Plumber.
I don't know this one.
The show on Nickelodeon, Salute Your Shorts.
Oh, yeah, Zeke the Plumber.
Zeke the Plumber was this urban legend at the camp of a plumber who had his nose cut off. He couldn't smell. Because he couldn't smell, he ended up he couldn't smell a gas leak, and it exploded and killed him. And so now he roams the camp looking for his plunger, his missing plunger, and if someone touches it, then he haunts them. And it's one of my favorite episodes. It definitely, I think it was creepy as hell growing up, and that legend, I think, really spawned other legends like that around other camps, and so yeah, it stuck with me.
Nice. I'm going with the 27 Club. No, I didn't have it though, Tito.
I'm going with the 28
every
Club.
week,
Brian.
It's you and
Let's
me,
do it
man.
every
You
week.
and me, great minds. No, this was actually a runner-up, or I had picked this one in case other people had picked what I have, which is the Mercy Brown Vampire from Exeter, Rhode Island.
I've never heard of that.
Never heard of this one? It's a local legend. The Mercy Brown Vampire incident occurred in Rhode Island in 1892. It's one of the best documented cases of exhumation of a corpse to perform rituals to banish an undead manifestation. This actually happened.
Wow.
Several cases of consumption, tuberculosis, occurred in the family of George and Mary Brown in Exeter, Rhode Island. Friends and neighbors believe that it was due to the influence of the undead. George Brown, the patriarch, was persuaded to give permission to exhume several bodies of his family members who recently died. Villagers and the local doctor and a newspaper reporter exhumed the bodies on March 17th, 1892. The bodies of both Mary and Mary Olive exhibited the expected level of decomposition, so they were thought not to be the cause. However, the corpse of the daughter Mercy exhibited almost no decomposition and still had blood in her heart. This was taken as a sign that the young woman was undead and the agent of all the death happening in the family. Her lack of decomposition was more likely due to her body being stored in a freezer-like condition in an above-ground crypt. Yeah, exactly. Back then, everything was witchcraft.
Did they stake her?
Well, the Mercy Brown, they did actually. They dug up her body, they took out her organs and burned it on a stone.
God,
they did. Yeah, her heart, her liver, and other organs were exhumed from her corpse, and
it's the only way to be sure.
It is, right? Yes, nuke it from orbit.
What's she gonna do with it?
So, fun fact: the Mercy Brown incident was the inspiration for a short story by Caitlin Kierman. It's called "So Runs the World Away," which makes explicit reference to the Mercy Brown affair. It's also been suggested by scholars, I don't know how true this is, that Bram Stoker, the author of Dracula, knew about the Mercy Brown case through newspaper articles and based the novel's character of Lucy upon her. It's also
That makes sense.
Yeah, it's also referred to in H.P. Lovecraft's story, The Shunned House. Mercy Brown's story was the inspiration for the young adult novel Mercy, the Last New England Vampire by Sarah L. Thompson. And accounts of the story is told by the remaining descendants of Mercy is available in Michael Bell's Food for the Dead on the Trail of New England Vampire book.
Local shit. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Very nice.
So, I'm surprised you never heard of that one.
No,
I
no.
knew that story since I was a kid.
Yeah,
Mercy
I
Brown.
love vampire stuff.
Yeah,
so,
Exeter. You can her grave is still there.
Is it?
Yeah, the Brown is somewhere in Exeter. You'll have to
Exeter?
You'll have to Google exactly where.
Road
but-
trip.
Yeah, it's only 45 minutes away.
Let's exhume that shit.
Let's do it.
go.
After we record, we'll go
We'll
down.
set some bodies on fire. All that. I got time.
Grab your torches and
make a night
pitchforks,
out of it.
boys.
Don't worry about us. We're just making sure there's no undead. Just go about your business.
Nothing to see here.
Citizens on patrol.
Runners up.
Was Pop Rocks and Coke as always. A fun
Oh
one.
yeah, Mikey.
Mikey.
Yeah.
Mikey
Yeah.
likes it.
That's the only one?
Yeah, that was the only other one.
Mark, what about you?
Mine, I've talked about this one before, is The Curse of Atuk, or Atuk, the screenplay that required an actor of larger proportions, a funny comedian, if you will.
Oh, I heard about this one.
To play the title character of this movie, and everyone that has read the screenplay has died.
John Belushi.
John Belushi, Sam Kinison, Chris Farley,
Yep.
and John Candy. It never made it to Kevin James' house, so we still have him.
We still have hope.
So for all you fat, funny people out there, if you're going into the business, this is why I just stick to podcasts and I write my own.
That's why I'm losing weight.
Right.
That's it.
Atuk.
Atuk or Atuk.
Or
Atuk.
Atuk.
It's about like
Atuk.
some kind of
Atuk.
Hayaya. Yahya. Paella.
Yahya Abdul-Mateen.
like a Eskimo, or I don't know if
Yeah,
that
it's
term is appropriate.
the.
Just based on that picture, it looks like
It is an Eskimo. It was
in a winter suit. John Candy,
Oh, also
right?
the earwig. While I'm looking for this, the earwig going in the ear and eating through your brain because it can't turn itself around and come out. Always just a freak me out.
Oh, I'm not familiar with that one.
Oh, yeah.
One of the many reasons I do not like earwigs. That they just creep me out.
Yeah. I thought you were going to say you sleep with like your ears plugged or something.
Well, I should.
Just wear your
But
headphones on.
there's nothing in there to eat. You know what I'm saying?
So they're all just sitting in there.
I see what you
beat you
did.
to it.
So just like a pile of earwigs just
It's
sitting
just,
there.
there's just earwigs
Fucking hollow
starving.
opening.
What's that buzzing
They're-
noise, Mark?
They're
I don't
looking
hear
around
anything.
like,
Listening to their own
where's the
echoes.
show?
You ever hear a song in your head and it's because they're singing? It's they're just
It's
in
not
there
an
partying.
earworm, it's an earwig.
Oh, that's
Come
what it is.
Earwig and
Man, I had leaving
the
on a
angry
jet
itch.
plane stuck in my head all day. It wasn't Peter, Paul, and Mary. It was the earwigs.
It's a solid tune.
Yeah.
A solid tune.
Yeah, I can't find the synopsis right now, but it did in fact have to do with it was a comedy about an Eskimo.
And then everybody who read it.
And they sent that
Supposedly
out to I believe it was John Belushi first who
Yeah,
read it. And
it's like
he
it's a script that's been kicking around Hollywood for decades.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So
maybe
don't
we'll
read
make
it.
No.
So don't read it. If they
Well, if
do
you get
make
like
it,
a thin guy, what if they
I
do
don't know.
like a
They're
Nutty
gonna have
Professor
to.
situation? They
We're
get Eddie
wiping out.
Murphy.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
wiping out all the
Yeah. Put 'em in a fat
heavyweights of
suit.
comedy. We gotta, you
Well,
know.
said Kevin James is still
Andrew Dice Clay
Yeah.
hasn't gotten it yet. He's
I know we have
put
to
on a
find
few
someone
pounds.
to test the
Jack
curse
Black.
Yeah.
Oh,
Jack
Jack
Black.
Black.
Yeah. Jack
Yeah.
Black. We still have him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The guy
Dane
from
Cook.
Mike and Molly. Oh yeah, he got fat.
Did he?
Did he get
Oh
fat?
yeah,
Molly?
He looks awful.
I was just hoping we could kill him, but like, oh, you know what? I better not say that. No.
He's
Oh,
a joke thief.
The joke.
He's a
He
joke
is.
thief.
He
Yeah,
is
I
a
know.
joke thief.
What are you gonna do?
You gotta run it up.
yeah.
I'm gonna move on.
I got another urban legend movie one. Danielle Harris's character. The you know, what is it? The Aren't You Glad You Didn't Turn on the Lights? Which in the movie, I mean, it's badass anyways, but she thinks she's having sex, so she doesn't turn on the light.
Yeah.
In the actual urban legend, it's the girl feels what she thinks is a dog licking her hand because she hears a bunch of noise, but she stays and then she hears it licking. She feels it licking her hand, and then she wakes up and the dog's dead, and it says, "Aren't you glad you didn't turn on the lights?" Because it was actually the killer like
Licking
just
her
licking
hand.
her hands
Yeah.
like a creep.
I saw Urban Legend. I don't remember that movie.
Yeah.
It was
You know,
years ago.
I rewatched it. It's actually a pretty fun flick still.
I don't remember
Pretty
Danielle
solid.
Harris
Yeah.
in it though.
Danielle Harris, she's the roommate. She's like
The
a goth chick.
bitchy goth.
So
roommate.
first
Is that
you-
with Rebecca Gayheart?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've
Alicia Witt.
Alicia. Okay.
Yep,
Is
Alicia
that
Witt's
David
the-
Boreanaz?
No.
Isn't
No,
that-
it's
no, Pacey.
Joshua Jackson.
Joshua Jackson.
and
Okay.
what's his name?
Who's the- is it
the
Michael
Cupid one?
Rosenbaum's
Yes,
in it.
Michael
Tara
Rosenbaum.
Oh, okay, yeah, I
Reid.
have seen that one.
Yep.
What's
It
the
is a
one
good
with
one.
David Boreanaz?
I think that's
Valentine.
My Bloody Valentine.
Okay,
Yeah.
where
My-
there was
yeah.
a cherub.
Not My
cast?
Bloody
No,
Valentine.
My
No?
Bloody Valentine
No.
was Jensen Ackles. This was
Yeah.
one.
Oh,
just
you're
called
right.
Yeah, that
Valentine.
was
Straight up
remake.
Valentine.
However,
with,
Valentine, I believe, was directed by the guy that did Urban Legend, Jamie Blanks.
Yes, I
Okay.
think so.
Blanks.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are you gonna do?
Blanks.
Not gonna do
And
anything.
and my other one was the Anya Romanov urban legend.
Oh, yeah.
The Princess Anastasia.
Yeah.
Kind of which coincides with the whole urban legend of Rasputin, who like the Mad Monk, who was
got his
killed
balls
like
chopped
8 different
off.
times.
Yeah.
You know,
They tried to kill him 8 different
Cut off
ways.
his dick.
But
and his
I've
balls.
always dug that. I love obviously they made the movie Anastasia. That was friggin' awesome.
The Don Bluth film.
The animated
Yeah.
one?
Yeah, it's,
Yep.
that's fun.
Yep, I love that movie.
love
Kirsten
Don
Dunst is in that movie.
Yeah.
Was she? in-
Oh, well, there you go.
She plays young Anastasia.
What are you gonna do?
That's it.
She plays second swan from the left.
I think Tito found a catchphrase. What are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do? Yeah.
All right.
Part of my catchphrase.
It's all hand gestures.
Yeah.
It's my catchphrase. I'm a
That's
mime.
our next
I'm
shirt.
very visual.
Just Tito.
It's very.
what you
it's
gonna do?
perfect. Perfect for podcast.
I'm very visual in an audio format.
There you go.
That's all I got.
Enough
All right.
people know what you look like
Nice.
now.
So I have the Bell Witch
I don't know that
from
one.
Tennessee. It's what the Blair Witch
Haunting of-
Project is based on.
Okay.
And the 27 Club. I actually had that as well as my runner-up in case.
It's true. I saw
But
it.
I do.
I thought the Bell Witch was the one that the haunting in Connecticut. The one. With,
It's the basis for a bunch of them.
Oh,
But
okay.
yeah, but
All right.
also most famously
Yeah.
the Blair Witch.
yeah, that's a good one. Creepy.
Yes, took
You
place
know-
in Tennessee in the late 1800s. Around the time of Mercy Brown.
Mercy Brown.
Murphy Brown?
Murphy
Oh, I love that show.
I used to love that show, Mercy
Remember
Brown.
when she had a baby out of wedlock and America was like, "How dare you?"
Exactly.
I
Remember
don't
that?
know.
Oh,
I
Simpler
honestly
times.
So
don't.
big. She
Simpler
was like, "I'm
times,
just gonna have
Tito.
a baby and not have a father."
And
to go with it.
everybody went ballistic.
I was not.
show was
Dan
actually
Quayle
really
was
good.
not happy about it.
Well, Dan Quayle had a lot of problems.
Yeah, I mean, she was
Spelling.
pretty rich.
Spelling
Yeah,
was one
can't
of them.
spell tomato or potato.
Potato.
One of the two. Potato.
That he couldn't say yah either.
No.
She's a funny actress too, Candace Bergen.
Candace
Yeah.
Bergen?
yeah,
she's-
she's great. I love that show.
Remember her and anybody see Carnal Knowledge with Art Garfunkel and Jack Nicholson? She's actually very cute in that movie.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, great movie.
Art
And-
Garfunkel. and
Carnal
Jack
Knowledge.
Nicholson.
in a movie together, Carnal
Interesting.
Knowledge.
Do they
Yeah.
all have sex together
Not together, but there's sex in it.
at different points?
Yeah,
Yeah,
at
but
different
it's
points.
Jack Nicholson and Art Garfunkel together, right? Yeah.
Yuck.
Yeah. Don't knock it till you try it.
I mean, what are you gonna do?
You're going to watch Carnal Knowledge.
I'm gonna try.
All right. No, you're not. No one said alligators in the sewers.
No one said alligators.
alligators in the
sewers.
sewer.
Do you know why?
Because it's not an
It's
urban
true.
legend. It's true.
Monster Quest proved it.
Oh yeah,
went in
Mummy's
there
in
with
my
cameras.
closet. Mummy was in my closet.
Alligator was in...
Alligator was in my toilet.
Tito was in my closet.
Yeah.
What are you
Snapped
gonna
at
do?
me. I was like, "Hey, stop that,
Mommy
you!"
came in my house.
All those weirdos flushing their alligators on the toilet.
That's just
Poor
how
alligators.
That's just how white people shit.
Did
Yeah,
you say
dude,
poor,
wild.
poor alligators?
Yeah, I mean, you get.
You who care not for animals in any way. All of a
Well, I
sudden-
mean, I don't think you should flush them down the fucking toilet
That's
while
true,
they're
you
still
shouldn't,
alive.
no.
That's just
Why?
not cool.
It's water. They're
Yep.
fine.
Yeah, but there's pipes and
They're
shit.
not.
It's weird.
I mean, they
You know.
swim, but they don't breathe underwater.
Did you feel bad for the little alligator when it gets flushed down the toilet?
Yeah,
So that movie touched you. Good.
momentarily.
Yeah.
Show me on the doll where
Yeah.
alligator touched you.
I'm not. I'm not. I'm
Show
an
Mark on
empathetic
the little
person.
Tito where alligator
Try
touched
to-
you.
Oh, little Tito.
Little Tito, you flush that thing down the toilet. see
No,
what
man.
happens.
Little Tito makes
Nothing
me
good.
happy.
Nothing good will
I
happen.
come
Yeah.
home from a hard day's work. I go grab my beer. There's little Tito on top of my fridge saying, "Don't worry, Mark. No matter how bad your day is, I'm here."
You flush little Tito down the toilet. You go to bed and shut the light off, and Josh Gravel will appear in your room and lick your hand.
I want my $5.
Josh, you don't need an invite for that, buddy.
Hello. All
right, there you go.
Turn the lights on.
Aren't you glad you didn't turn the lights off? Well, that's gross. Okay, here we go. Not you, Josh. The situation. Shall we get to the main course?
Yeah.
Shall we leap off this train and go to the main course?
Let's do it.
All right, the main course.
It's got some real sizzle tonight.
It's beautiful. Sounds like steak.
Sounds like steam escaping.
I want
Well, that's the
steak
sound
now.
of the earwigs.
I'm leaving on a jet plane. That's all I'm going to think of now. Singing earwigs. Doing a little dance in my head, like the cockroaches in Joe's apartment. Nice musical
that was
number.
A fun movie.
Welcome to Joey's toilet.
All right, main course. Here we go. Come with us now to Caprini Green, a place that for many can get pretty mean. For within its old walls lies a wicked old spirit. Say his name 5 times and hope he don't hear it. It's the Candyman, bitch, and he's coming for you. And we're talking his movies, both old and brand new. With a hook for a hand and covered in bees, he terrorizes those who summon his needs. Watch Mark, who hates bees, as he laughs, screams, and cries. Remember when he thought he had bees in his eyes? Tony Todd was the first at the Candyman game, and later that other guy, I struggle with his name. Both are chilling and scary and will slash through your soul. Did I mention I once meant Fright Night's Billy Cole? My goodness, so random. Let's get back on track with the man who will have your balls for a snack. So join us, you may, long as you've had your shots. It's time for the dads and their opening thoughts.
Whoa. Rhymed.
I don't think Candyman actually ate balls, but I just wanted to...
I mean,
No, he did. He didn't eat them, but he castrated.
He castrated the kid.
He might have eaten them after.
Yeah.
He could have gotten hungry.
Snack, you know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but that was a shitty guy, the neighborhood guy.
Yeah.
Castrated the
Just
kid.
because you
feel
didn't
bad
see
for
it.
him.
What a sick fuck.
Yeah.
The Candyman wouldn't do that.
No. The
He kills people the
Candyman.
old-fashioned way.
Candyman don't like that.
Candyman don't like
Candyman
that.
don't like me to touch his balls.
Tito, this was your pick, and you're starting us off. So.
Yeah, this is my pick. I really like both of these films. The original, I actually hadn't seen in a while, so it was nice to watch that one and then watch the reboot remake. I really liked the reboot. I didn't realize it was a direct sequel while I was watching it, and then I forgot. And then I was watching it again, and I was like, oh, wait a minute. They talk about Helen Lyle in this movie. Why wasn't I paying attention the first time? But Virginia Madsen, all-time hottie. She's fantastic in the movie. Tony Todd, this is kind of his, this is his launching point. I never saw the other two. I never saw Farewell to the Flesh.
No, I saw
or
Farewell.
They're decent.
The other one, the DVD, looked like a straight to DVD.
Yeah, Day of the Dead.
Yeah, something. It didn't look great. I watched the trailer and I was like, yeah, I can never see this. But it makes me wish that Tony Todd had been in more things. He's in the movies where death is chasing the kids. What do you call that?
Final
Destination. And he typically appears in like horror films, a background character or something.
He was in The
like
Rock.
That. Oh yeah,
I want my fucking money.
Yeah.
Star Trek.
Current.
Who was he in?
He's Worf's brother, Kern.
Yeah, it is Kern.
Yeah.
Oh,
He
I
plays,
didn't know that.
Yeah, on a few episodes, he plays Worf's brother's brother, Kern. He's also
The brother to Worf's brother?
the brother's Worf Kern. Worf's brother's Kern. That's hard to say. Worf's brother. Tony Todd plays his brother.
He's also the voice of Venom.
Was he?
Yeah, he was the voice. He still is.
And the Tom Hardy movies?
Yeah.
Oh,
I didn't know that.
Look at that. Tony Todd, you're doing big things, my guy. I
Oh,
love it.
man. Now I like those movies slightly more.
I was going to say he was like the Craig Robinson of fucking horror.
Yeah.
Like, it
No,
like,
he was
this
doing
guy's not
fine.
doing...
Remember him in The Crow? He had that part in The Crow.
And he does things where he's like always. Was he in one of?
He was in Hatchet, one of the Hatchet movies. Or
What's the Tales from the Hood? I think he was in one of the sequels.
He might have been because Keith David is in one.
There's three of them, and I think Keith David was in the original, and then it was
Clarence Williams.
Clarence Williams. Then Keith,
Yeah.
And
Tony
I
Todd
think
might have been
Tony
in the
Todd was
third.
one
might
of
have
them.
been in the third one, which
I didn't see the second
Yeah,
one.
the second one wasn't that good.
No, I didn't see either of those.
Unfortunately.
Didn't we see Tony Todd kind of from a distance when we did the Silver Screen? Wasn't he
Saw
there?
him. He looked at us and nodded.
Yes, he did.
I was too scared to go up with him, man.
Yep.
It still looks frightening.
I gave him a wave. He looked my way.
He was very tall.
He's
He
very
is
tall.
very
Imposing.
tall.
6'5".
I bet he's like gives the best hugs.
Oh yeah.
I bet he's like a great fucking
I
guy.
saw him.
You're walking away with some cracked ribs, though, Tito.
I saw
lovely.
a video online of him talking about Venom and how much he enjoys when kids come up and like say I am Venom with him. Like he lives
cool,
for
cool,
it.
cool.
He's like it's the best part of the job.
That is really cool. I
Yeah.
did not know that.
Yeah.
Or maybe I did and I forgot.
Learning something new.
Yes, great movie. I really enjoy as much as they can. There is some for the '90s. It's probably just glanced over the social commentary of Virginia Madsen being inside of this, housing project, and it's all kind of lost on her, except for the idea of the Candyman, which is cool. And the second and the remake reboot, I really enjoy how they've given it a modern take and also kind of created this hive of Candymen, which I really like. So everybody's kind of got their stories. It's evolved over time. Helen Lyle, obviously, and I forgot that she turned into her own version at the end. I forgot all about that.
The husband at the end.
Yeah.
It's interesting how she's looked at in each movie too. You talk about the different climate of the 90s versus now. At the end of Candyman, everybody from Cabrini Green shows up at her funeral.
Right.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
as a generous act. And then over the years, the legend, much like the Candyman legend, gets twisted and it gets, just jumbled around to a point where now she's not, in 2021, she's not celebrated. If you look closely, there's an article on her written by somebody, and it's like white privileged woman goes looking for Candyman.
Oh,
They
that's
look at her-
hilarious. I never noticed that.
I caught that, and I was like, oh, so now they look at her now with more disdain than they did back then. So it's funny how the whole
because of the the current political
current political climate has changed. And so when Tito and I when you were talking last night, saying I'm sorry, this is more. I forgot it was a sequel, not really a remake. It is kind of a remake, and we were saying it's basically the legends being remade. The character of Candyman is still the same, and it does continue. From the last film, but everything has changed. The stories are being retold to a different generation.
Yeah.
So I say that counts.
Yeah, for sure. The only difference is really the name Candyman, what it is in the original, which is like this moment of her cutting herself on a piece of candy, but there's no connection whatsoever to this painter who was strung up and had his hand chopped off, and they felt like sticking a hook in there. I don't understand that. Ever.
For funsies.
I just don't understand. And to the newer version where it has an actual person who existed in this neighborhood that would hand out kids candy and was wrongfully accused of something, who had a hook for a hand. So they
he already has.
They did what kids do. They kind of took something old and they evolved it and let's make this make a little more sense.
Yeah.
He actually did give out candy and he did have a hook. So it made more sense for him to have an even scarier hook. But yeah, both I think really, really fun movies, and I enjoy them both for different reasons.
Yeah, I had not seen the original in quite some time, and going back and revisiting it, it still holds up for me. It's still a great, very in Clive Barker fashion. It's like fairy tale horror. And like you said, the social commentary stuff, it makes you think. It's kind of not really, it's not on the back burner, but it's mingles in with the entertainment more, where I feel like
they walk a fine line. It's not like beating you over the head with it,
right? Which I don't even think. I was
subtle.
worried the remake was gonna, or whatever. I was worried the remake was gonna do that, and I was surprised it didn't. I was happy that it didn't. It was more.
It could have very easily
more
gone that
of
way.
it was more the focal point. But the story was good, and the cast was so good, and the characters so much fun. You didn't think about it. You still were entertained, and it was the movie first. Its social commentary was more upfront, and of course it would be, given what's going on now.
Well, her story, the Helen Lyle story, is more of like a fish out of water in the 90s. It's a fish out of water story.
Absolutely.
She showed up to a place that she's not from, and she doesn't understand things and how they work, and this crazy shit happens.
She thinks she can figure it all out.
And theorizing why, the people of Cabrini Green, created this legend to deal with racial stuff. And
what's funny is I noticed in the first Candyman movie, the ghetto is more the urban legend. If you think about it, and we
Constantly,
often
you can't go there. It's
we often
dangerous.
have this perception of it. I remember growing up in Bridgewater and telling people I go to Brockton every Sunday to visit my grandparents. My dad works in Brockton, and their eyes grew wide, and they were like, "Oh, you didn't get shot?"
Right.
In their minds, Brockton was this
this wasteland full of
exactly,
outlaws.
where you were gonna die,
gangland from the movies.
Exactly like an urban legend is. What's an urban legend? It could be something that's blown out of proportion, exaggerated, told to frighten or to caution or whatever. And that's exactly what Caprini Green is. That's more the urban legend to me in the first movie than the Candyman himself. The Candyman's kind of more of he's kind of more
Folklore.
in the folklore, but he's in the backdrop for a little while, you know? And it's not until Virginia Madsen, and I can't remember the actress who plays her friends, but she's
Vanessa
from
Williams?
she's from
No, she plays the mother.
Okay.
No, her friend there who ends up getting
Bernadette.
killed.
Yeah,
Bernadette.
but I can't think of the name of the actress.
Right. I thought it's the girl, it's the cop from Hard Target. The one that so.
Cassie Lemons, I think. Casey Lemons.
Yeah.
Maybe. She plays Bernadette.
So it's not until they go into that neighborhood and they start talking to the people where they realize, oh, these are great people. These are people working really hard and trying to survive. It's not what people are making it out to be.
Yeah.
So that's what I thought of when I revisited the original.
Right.
And in the new movie, Candyman is more the center of this one. And that was really cool too. And I can't say his name very well, but I thought he was great.
Yeah.
Excellent body horror. I love the slow transformation of the hive. I think that was my favorite thing about it. But I enjoyed this movie. I enjoyed this movie a lot.
Nice. Yeah, the original Candyman, it left like a traumatic impression on me when I was young. It was scary. The whole idea with the bees and he was almost scarier than Jason and Michael Myers. Like he kind of like, it was easier to have a character like that haunt my dreams than some of the other ones. And there's really not there's no lighthearted comedy in the series, in the whole series.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing, there's no jokes. It's like a serious thing, which I really, really dig. And I think that it speaks volumes that it's stayed with me for so long. The new one is great. I love that there's the twist that it turns from a what you think is a remake to oh shit, it's all connected. Like he's the kid and there's his mom and I love that. That was one of the other things that I love about the whole series. You're right. 3 is definitely the weakest.
Farewell to Flesh was pretty good.
I like Farewell to Flesh, and I liked the biggest thing I liked about the whole series is that they don't stray and they don't kind of reach for certain things. They keep it kind of simple with it's her lineage, and his lineage. It's their descendants, and so it keeps the connection there, which I really really dug. And with the social commentary stuff, I think I think the original was hugely important. That whole idea that you just talked about how kind of busting that myth of what the projects really are really like, and black people in general, people from suburbs like Bridgewater, there was 2 or 3 black families total.
Yeah, especially in the 90s.
So we only had what was in the movies to go off of, and so it definitely humanizes minorities in a way that kind of opens people's eyes who aren't used to interacting with them.
Yeah, my only counter to that is you never had the Cosby Show horror movie.
Right.
It's true.
The black neighborhood that's not that bad, but Freddy lives there.
Right.
Or Jason lives there. It's typically compounded.
Yeah.
Which is both sad and kind of amazing that when it comes to black horror films, it's you got this shit reality that you're living with, and now we're gonna compound it with the Candyman.
Right.
Yeah.
So life gets that much more terrifying.
And there was a lot
you.
of that in the 90s, too. We had a lot of movies like that. People Under the Stairs, Tales from the Hood. There was a whole movement with that subject matter.
Right.
So...
so here's the thing. These movies messed with my head.
Yeah?
Yeah, and not the subject matter of the movies themselves.
Like the earwigs?
Like earwigs.
And it would have...
Were there bees?
Is it in a way like a would it kill him to play a little Foghat kind of way?
No, I don't like Foghat. No, I never saw the original Candyman. Never.
No? First time?
First time I watched
Nice.
it was a few nights ago. And I could not believe that this movie was from 1992.
Yeah.
That blew me away. Right. Virginia Madsen's in it. And I'm like, this movie's from 92? Fuck, she just did Highlander 2 like the year before this movie. I had no idea this movie was this fucking old.
Wow.
Dude, that's what blew my mind mostly. Let me see.
We only get side nipple too, which is a bummer.
Yeah, a little
She
bit.
looks
Yeah,
good, but
yeah.
only at the side.
It's true.
That's all you need.
Oh,
She's wonderful.
Virginia, come on.
She was a little bloody and grimy though.
I love it.
Didn't matter.
But yeah, I always thought that this movie came out like 10 years after it actually did. Like I thought this movie was from the early 2000s, and I think I'm getting it mixed up with Jeepers Creepers for some reason.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
I really do. I think like I've got like the Candyman and the Jeepers Creepers guy mixed up for some reason.
They both wear big coats.
They do. And Jeepers Creepers was a movie that I never really saw until a few years ago. I think you and I watched it
watched
together.
it.
Yeah.
Oh, we watched it here.
Yeah.
We watched
Oh,
it
did all of us watch it? Or
We
I thought I
watched,
watched it at your
the
house.
first one.
Yeah.
But then I watched the remake and the slash reboot slash sequel from 2021. And again, I was thinking that I had never seen this one before. I thought I had never seen either Candyman. And as I'm watching it, it's like very familiar to me. I'm like, I saw this scene. I saw this scene. I saw this. And I'm like 30 minutes into the movie and I'm like, I think I've seen this fucking movie. And I just didn't remember watching it before.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah, what are you going to do? There it is.
And you want to package it. You want to put it on a lunchbox.
I want bees in my lunchbox. Meal of earwigs. So, so I was thinking, like, as I'm watching it, and now it's like, I've seen this. And I was like, did we watch it together?
I almost thought we had done that movie.
So did I.
Yeah.
And, like, I'm watching it, I'm like, we must have watched this together. But the more I watched it, I think I went to see this with my dad a few years ago and just totally forgot about this movie.
Yeah.
Totally forgot I had seen it.
I had not seen it.
Yeah.
I want to say it came out just a little after the pandemic.
It did.
or
It came out in
mid-pandemic,
2021,
and
so it was
disappeared.
just towards the end of it.
That's how I was with the newer Hellboy.
Yeah.
I started watching it and I'm like, oh wait, I've seen this.
I think I stayed away because I believe the internet vibe about it being like nothing but all social commentary and no point. I was like, I love Candyman. I don't want to be reminded of what's going on in the real world. And, but I didn't get any of that when I watched it. I should just know to listen to people.
But all that being said, I liked both of these movies. I didn't realize when I apparently saw the remake the first time that it tied in so closely with the original, with Anthony being the kidnapped baby, all grown up. And so it was a cool twist, and I'm glad I got to watch both of them finally.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, if you never see one and you see the remake,
it didn't make sense.
It kind of is. Well, it's a little
it does explain
self-contained,
it,
so
but
they give you like the shadow puppets, which I fucking love. The shadow puppets.
That's true.
Yeah.
So like you get
That
some
was a
story.
Because that was one of the things I'm like,
Cool.
I'm like,
little
I've
segment.
seen this. I remember the shadow puppets.
Puppets!
Because I remember when I watched it the first time thinking like, oh, this is like when they did the flashback in Krampus, which came out like a few years before.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
So I'm like, oh yeah.
True.
So there it is. I like both of them.
Nice.
Yeah,
Glad I
so
finally
that's
got to see
I
the
like
two
that
of
the
them.
lead was an artist too.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
An artist.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
paint, the artwork that he
The
does.
artwork.
Yeah,
is
it was
I
pretty
love
badass,
I loved
too.
his artwork. I love the idea opening up the medicine cabinet, like
Yeah.
a little nod to the first movie.
Yep.
And seeing the painting and the other room. I thought that was really cool. So, I dig that.
Yeah, it's definitely fun. I saw the original, but I could only assume for Brian, it's kind of cool to see it, not knowing those things, and then it going right into that movie. Because the first time I saw the remake, that was kind of lost on me.
Right.
The mirror stuff I was like, oh wait a minute, that's the cabinet she walks in when she goes to the other room with the face spray painted on the wall.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Really cool.
That's cool with the face.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It was.
And the original
Spray
was,
painted on the
walking
wall
out
with the mouth.
walking
Yeah.
out of out of the mouth.
I saw a meme too about how pretty strange that one of the few movies out there that like does a tribute to Candyman was Santa Claus 3. Or one of the Santa Claus movies.
What?
There's a scene where it's Santa's face instead, but it's the same exact type of thing.
opened
with
up
That's right.
and he walks. They walk through it. And I was like, oh, kind of, I guess. A little reaching a
Well,
little.
those movies were scary enough as they were anyway. Some creepy elves in those
Allen.
Santa movies. All right, shall we get to categories?
Let's
a little
do
bit.
it.
All right, so I have better lead,
Yeah.
but I feel like with this one, it's not the same thing because one's a slasher and the other one's somebody who
Well, he's not
finds
really
the slasher. He's not the same guy.
Wait, well, are we
so-
going to treat Virginia Madsen as one lead and then Yahya
I was
as the
going
second?
by Candyman.
Yeah, I was thinking Candyman when I'm thinking lead.
But it doesn't. It's not really fair because
Well,
you know.
if they're
Spoiler
going
alert!
Candyman is Candyman Sherman with the hook hands,
Right.
That comes out of the wall.
Because Yahya doesn't become
That's true.
Candyman
To the very
until
end.
the very end.
Yeah.
And
so-
even then, it's like his face is obscured by the bees.
Yeah, and then it's Tony
and then it
Todd.
becomes Tony Todd.
Spoiler!
Yeah, it's fucking awesome.
which
Yeah.
was
This
was
movie came
kind
out
of cool.
fucking forever ago.
It was, Sarah and I were like, wait a minute, we were a little confused by that though. Like, hold on. So wait, is the wife now the bride of Candyman? Can she summon him at will? How come she didn't
Just to say
die
hi.
when she called his name? We were a little confused.
There's dishes in the sink. Can you take care of that?
Oh yeah, when you say lead, I'm thinking either Madsen or Abdul-Mateen.
Mateen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what. So let's instead just say, let's go with a better overall cast. Did you like the cast in this new one more? Did you prefer the cast from the original?
So I'm probably more familiar with this newer group of people, which makes me like them. They seem more fleshed out.
Tiana.
And yeah,
Paris.
right. Oh my god.
Yeah, from the Marvels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
And WandaVision.
yep.
Yeah. They cloned Tyrone.
I like her.
Among
I
other
like her.
things.
Yeah. So I really enjoy this cast, and everybody seems a little bit more fleshed out. You have her brother, his boyfriend. You have the guy that owns the
Art gallery.
who's the prick. You know, where some of the other murders in the original, some of those cast members are just kind of throwaways. Her
Yeah.
doctor and her husband. I guess he's good at being the worst, but I don't like him.
Xander Berkeley?
Yeah. Oh my god,
She's
he's
not
the,
my mother,
Yeah.
Todd.
he's
Yeah.
the fucking worst.
He is the
worst.
He's the worst.
Yeah.
But
He's in
Virginia
Apollo
Madsen.
13 too.
Yeah, he's just got that punchable face,
Yeah.
man. He
Yeah.
plays a prick in so many things.
It's tough because I'm gonna go with the original because Virginia Madsen and Tony Todd are enough for me to like that one more as a whole. Even if I don't like some of the other characters, and Ted Raimi pops up real quick.
That's right. I forgot about Ted Raimi.
Raimi.
And you didn't have
Yeah.
I
The
don't
boyfriend.
Yeah.
that I can't remember. I don't remember any like cameos of anybody special. So I always like when a horror movie throws a little cameo in there, or somebody that's connected to other horror. So I would
Yeah.
go original cast as much as I like the new one.
Yeah, I might have to go with you. This is a tough one because when I first think about it, the cast from the new movie is a lot of fun. They got a lot of great characters in there, but the original does have Virginia Madsen. It's also got God, is it Keisha from
Vanessa Williams.
Vanessa L. Williams.
Rockabye, baby.
Yeah.
New Jack
from
City?
New Jack City.
Yeah.
And she shows up in the sequel, and she still looks fantastic.
Yeah.
Go you, Keisha. All those drugs in New Jack City paid off.
She got shot
died.
at
She
the
was
wedding.
shot at the
Yeah,
wedding.
She was shot at the wedding.
Keisha dead. The Dutta Man dead.
Yeah.
Niedermeyer dead.
Niedermeyer dead. I want to saw it burn in the ground. Yeah, but Tony, like you said, Tony Todd and Virginia Madsen are so awesome. It's kind of hard not to go with this.
Yeah,
You know,
I like the
if you
Tony Todd
say-
thing at the end. I wish it would have been sprinkled throughout the entirety of the
I
film.
kind of do as
I would
well.
have liked that a little bit more.
It feels like it was a last minute kind of, we got to give the fans something. Maybe it wasn't. I don't know. I know Nia DaCosta is a fan of the original.
Yeah.
Had always planned to bring Tony Todd back in some capacity, but it just, the way it was executed, it just felt like it was tossed
Yeah,
on.
no, I would have
I think
liked
it was
I would
like too
absolutely-
little, too late kind of
Too
thing.
little, too late, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I would have liked
maybe.
more of Tony Todd also.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Because that just kind of raised questions like, wait, whoa, hold on now.
Where-
Hold it. Wait, who, what, where, when, that kind of shit.
Yeah.
Derek.
Well, I like the Sherman character.
Here, Sherman. Here, boy. Shake hands. Say hello.
Hello.
That version of the Candyman.
Yeah.
I think it's a really cool idea, and it's definitely like I think that was the big curveball that had people thinking, okay, so that's Candyman.
Yeah, this
it's
is
totally
the story.
different. So yeah, it's a remake. That being said, I do like I got to go with the original because like Tony Todd's just so iconic. He's scary as fuck in the original movie.
He really is.
And Virginia Madsen's awesome. She's just like Mateen is awesome too. He's a great actor, but I kind of prefer her journey that she takes.
Yeah.
And she's as iconic as Todd is, really. So I think it's just more enjoyable, that cast.
And with horror, it's the Nightmare on Elm Street 2 thing, right? Where the final guy isn't always as fun. It's not as fun as the final girl.
Right.
Yeah, it never is.
And you have that fairy tale Beauty and the Beast type quality between Virginia Madsen and Tony Todd that helps make that movie what it is.
And I think if he had been Candyman more longer in this, I think I probably would have enjoyed it more. I think it would have been a little bit better. I almost would lean towards him because, to be honest, the makeup for him is fucking scary.
Oh, the the body horror?
Yeah, so it's called...
Phenomenal.
So there's a thing called... what the hell is it called? Give me 1 second, find it.
Are you talking about the
fear of whole... Yeah, so it's
it.
trypophobia, which is the fear of objects with small holes, like honeycombs, clusters of corals. And there was for a while online, there was a bunch of videos. It was someone
some of them have larger holes.
Like someone had leaned their arm on like a bunch of frozen peas.
Yeah.
And it looked like there was these fucking things growing in this person's skin. And
that's cool.
And I think that's what gave it to me. But it's terrifying. And they do such a good job with the makeup of capturing that look that it just is so unnerving. So I kind of almost lean towards the look of the new one, and the feel of the new Candyman is scarier to me than Tony Todd. But I mean, just overall, I got to give it to the 92.
Well, it's like
but what's weird is he doesn't,
and him pulling his fingernail
but he doesn't
out.
stay that way. At the
creepy
end, the bees take over, and then it becomes Tony Todd. It almost would seem cooler if it, first of all, didn't tie into the first movie and was a remake. And second of all, if we're going David Cronenberg fly body horror, make the whole movie that and make the Candyman treated more of the disease that a lot of the characters say it is, as opposed to just having him hive out but then become Tony Todd. It kind of takes a left turn there. I would have been more happy to see that this transformation completely overtake him.
Yeah.
You know,
it's possible that you do get to see him back. Well, we don't know, right? Because we just get Tony Todd and then it goes away.
That's true.
It's possible that like every Candyman, this is like just just so you know, madam, I'm the one who started this whole thing.
Yeah.
And you got to see my face, but you know he's in there somewhere. Your boy's in there somewhere.
Your boy.
He's in there
He's in
somewhere.
here sleeping.
He's in there somewhere. But I really enjoy the idea of the kind of like Freddy Krueger. You know, I think the ideas are similar-esque, right? This idea of like if people stop telling the story, then he just goes away. Right. So you needed somebody to kind of every so often you need somebody to bring that story back around. Which I really like because you're thinking of the 1800s. How do you keep that story going? In the first one, it's the drug dealer in the hood who's got a hook that's fucking killing people, so they think, oh God, the Candyman.
Right.
And this, it's a little more closer to home because you have the baby, but you have Vanessa Williams and you have the guy who owns the laundromat, Burke.
That's right.
Who still remember Cabrini Green when they had the high rises.
Yeah, the way it used to be.
Yeah.
Right, and those stories, and they're like, what I like about this movie is like, this is what Cabrini Green was. We lived in fear because of the Candyman. I watched him kill my sister. They knocked the high rises down. They made it really expensive to live in. And all these people live in this area and have no fucking idea what it's like to actually be terrified of this thing. I want them to experience it too.
Yeah.
So that's what I really enjoy. So I feel like the social commentary is less race driven and more like economics.
Right.
Well, now it's so nice we can't even fucking afford to live here.
Well, it's a little.
That's not fair. I want you guys to suffer too.
It's a little bit of both, right? Because what does Burke say? Burke says when he's telling the original Candyman story, he's like, you know how it goes. White people like what we make, but they don't like us, or something along that lines. You know, I mean, it's true. And I said to Tito, I texted him like, damn, Nia DaCosta hates white people because, boy, do they get gutted in this movie. And rightfully so.
The difference being from the original and the newer one is that it's a different population of people living
It
in the
is.
Cabrini Green area, right?
Right.
Yeah.
They renamed
been
it.
gentrified.
Right. It's like,
Right.
fucking Williamsburg and
Southie.
Brooklyn, or all these places that are a lot nicer than they used to be. Right. So the people that live there can afford to live there anymore. But I like the idea of this guy. Like, no, we should bring this guy back so they can know what it's like. So it's like those people in that area
Yeah.
again.
Isn't it funny though? Was it when the art critic buys it and they pull back from the building and the art critic, you think she's still alive?
Oh, dude, I fucking love that scene.
What a great shot.
From
But
far
did you
away, and she
notice
goes
the building
up and-
was like a hive.
Yeah.
Did it like?
Oh yeah, because
Yeah, it's like, I see. So these guys are living in these fancy, but they're still drones.
yeah.
Right.
They're still. It's a different.
Worker bees.
It's a different kind of slavery, but they're drones to their possessions.
Yeah.
Drones to their stuff. So
Yeah.
a lot of
I
stuff
really
you can
like
read
that
into
scene.
with both of these movies, and I like
Oh,
it.
for
Apparently
sure.
you did.
I did. I did.
You got cast.
Yeah, I put down, it was a tie for me. I love the original cast with Tony Todd and Virginia Madsen. Powerhouse acting. I mean, everybody in that original one acted the shit out of that movie. And I love the remake. Yahya Abdul-Mateen and Teyana Paris, they're fantastic. I love everything that Yahya's been in that I've seen. Teyana Paris, like we mentioned, has been in a lot of the Marvel stuff. She's fantastic as well. I have to give it to both of them.
Yeah.
You know, watched the original on Sunday night, watched the remake on Monday night, and I came up with a tie. I can't.
I really feel like
I can't
feel
pick
like
one
if
over
we
the
had
other.
a best supporting cast, the newer one would win.
If I went supporting, I might go
Yeah.
Nora because I like
Yeah.
her brother.
I
He
love
was on
that as a
Misfits.
brother.
I did,
Oh yeah, he was
The one that can like travel through time.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's hilarious.
And his partner, he was a riot too. The little
Yeah,
guy
with the curly
fro.
hair.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that had comedy in it. Where you, Derek, you said the
Yeah,
first, the
that's-
original
yeah.
had no comedy in it.
No,
right?
hardly
This
any.
one had some comedy to it. It was, a
Right.
little bit.
I
peppered
love
in
the
there.
idea. I love that he doesn't die because he's legit like, I'm gonna leave. You better not fucking say Candyman in the mirror while I'm gone. You need to chill out.
Yeah.
Stop fucking around. He doesn't believe. I love the idea of something like that where you don't believe, but in the back of your head you're like, well,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah.
So
but,
even-
but I better
yeah.
knock on wood
Yeah.
just to be sure.
Right.
Yeah, right. Like he thinks it's stupid, but he's like, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
You better not fucking
Yeah.
say his name.
Well, in the bathroom scene with the girls, there was one girl smart enough to be like, "Yeah, nope," and she
And
left.
Oh,
she
yeah.
leaves. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's wild. A lot of the kills are fun. I feel like we've gotten to a place in film where like everything needs to be seen all the time. I think it's really effective. Like the art critic, how she dies, I think is really fucking cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you're like, oh fuck, she just flew. Oh, okay, whoa. Like she's dead.
She did.
Okay.
Yep.
It's cool. I like that shit. I like it's creative without creativity and horror. For me, at least, got to a point where I was like, how big can we make this head explosion?
Exactly.
Right.
Well, there's a
Well, and
genre
like Saw,
for it.
yeah, like
Some of
Saw.
it's
There's a
fun.
genre for
Saw
it.
and
But you
Final
know what?
Destination had
Yeah.
got this, started this trend of like, oh, what interesting, cool way can we kill people?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What they,
For
like,
sure.
is just
These
new and
over the top Rube
Right.
Goldberg
Yeah.
kind of
and
ways
it's
to
awesome,
kill
but not every
somebody
horror
off.
movie has to
Right.
have that. You've got your slasher movies, but like Candyman was always a little different than a slasher
Right.
film, you know?
But being a product of Clive Barker, and I've only seen a couple of the Hellraiser movies, but one of he directed this one too, Lord of Illusions. I absolutely
Oh, I
love
heard
that
about that
movie.
one.
That's a great movie.
I don't think I've seen it.
Oh, Scott Bakula, yeah, he's
Yeah,
in
no,
it.
I didn't see it then.
And it's scary, but it's not terrifying. And I don't want to say it's slow because Candyman has those moments of just like dialogue and people interacting, but it's not just like kill after kill after kill. There's
Right.
just he's created a
Right.
story that he's telling.
Well, you hit the
that
nail on the head
happens to-
when you said it was when you what was it? You or Mark that said it was with like Clive Barker. It's like fairy tale horror,
Oh, yeah.
which is
It is Clive Barker's monsters are the good guys,
Right.
Or they're the ones who, like, even in the
Sympathetic or-
Candyman, the story in
Yeah,
Damnation
Nightbreed.
game. I believe that's the
Yeah.
and Nightbreed. The monsters are the good guys. It's the humans that are bad
Right. Yeah.
for whatever reason,
Right.
and it often, with the exception of Hellraiser, stories like Nightbreed, Candyman, this kind of stuff falls to prejudice. people that are different from them.
Right.
And both movies
Yeah, but that's
have
nothing new. That goes all the way back to the Universal.
Oh no,
monsters,
it
too.
does. But Clive, what I'm saying is that's like the focal point of Clive Barker's monsters. They're often the oppressed ones that like
Oh, yeah.
like and the Universal like Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Totally. But his best movies all have that theme. With Hellraiser, the monster was meant to be Frank and Julia. In the book, the girl that comes back to have people kill for her or whatever, or she kills for Frank or whatever, the Cenobites were an afterthought, but they were meant to be these background characters that audiences just gravitated to.
Yeah.
But they weren't the innocent ones, but they weren't the ones doing all the killing. Right? It's like, oh, you open the box, you're screwed. But if you don't open the box, we want nothing to do with you.
It's almost too nuanced
Just like,
for like a modern audience.
It
Where they're
is.
like, no, the
Right.
bad guy's supposed to be disgusting.
Right.
Well, and just like
Scary.
Candyman,
And the monsters-
Candyman's not going to cause you any harm if you don't say his name 5
Right,
times.
exactly.
So
and his is a revenge story.
Right.
It's,
Yeah.
of his origin and everything.
No.
And the monsters from Nightbreed, same
I
thing.
guess you have Clive
They-
Barker's. He's gay, right?
Yeah.
I imagine he's
Right,
pulling
it's
a lot
probably a lot
from his
from-
experience.
Oh, there's a
of
lot
being-
of
homophobia.
stories I'm
Yeah.
probably
Yeah.
mentioning that go
Especially
into
when a lot of
that
this
whole-
stuff was written in the
Yeah.
70s and 80s.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, especially in the 80s.
It's not the climate we have now.
I wish I read. I would probably read a bunch of his shit.
I've read some of
Yeah.
it. It's
If
good.
they turn them into comic books, let me know.
Well,
they
Nightbreed,
have,
they
I
did.
think, yeah.
Oh, did
Yeah,
they?
they have Hellraiser
Okay.
and Nightbreed.
Well, and I think like one of
They
his
have Rawhead Rex, too.
short story ones.
Oh, yeah, that movie.
As a matter of fact, Rawhead Rex crosses over with Nightbreed, but it's the Rawhead Rex not from the movie. It's from the
the
story.
better one.
The better one.
Okay.
The one that ejaculates.
Oh, I
not-
saw the picture of it where he looks like he's
Yeah.
got a penis for a head.
He does.
It's very
yeah.
purple.
Yeah, he doesn't pee on people. He
Purple-headed yogurt
spews
slinger.
on them.
He buzz nuts.
Oh my.
Brian, you said yours, right?
Yeah, mine was a tie.
Okay.
Cop out.
Better story. Which had the better story? This is another tough one. Again, these categories mostly go for remake and original. But was there a better story?
This is tough because if you don't have the original, you don't have this reboot
Yeah,
remake.
it's
But
true.
I love the story and the
reboot.
Right.
reboot of just this kind of flip of the original, where it's whoever lives in Cabrini Green, which is this more upscale place.
Mm-hmm.
The people that remember what it used to be want them, or at least one of them wants the people there to experience it. What I do really like is right at the end of the first one, they all show up to the funeral. You only get the two characters, Burke and the Vanessa Williams character. And when she speaks of Helen Lau, she speaks of her as a hero.
Right.
Right. And then when they re-show her kind of story, it's, and the puppets, it's kind of Helen Lau saving the day, which I really, really liked. That it evolved from that original, she's a serial killer. They don't know what's going on. Nobody knows why this woman's at the funeral. I guarantee that guy didn't talk to anybody there and ask them why they were there. He probably took off because he was freaked the fuck out. But then I would have really liked it if the little boy, if they had found a way to make the younger boy an adult in this world somehow. Or if maybe Burke was the little boy, but then you don't get that extra story. But I really enjoy this, the newer kind of take on the race and the social issues, economic issues, and even the stuff with the brother. At one point, they're talking about what Cabrini Green used to be, and the brother's boyfriend is like, "Oh, like you guys."
Oh,
Right, like they're they're
When-
shitting on the people that
right,
gentrified
when
the
she-
area,
right,
but
yeah.
they live in a building that
Yeah.
was gentrified. So, and it gets really quiet. I love that, and I love the part where the art critic says, "Oh, like artists like you come in here and get these cheap,
you're kind,
cheap
always
rents
do- yeah.
and make the places more valuable."
Yeah.
And it's like this real like fucking come to Jesus moment for these people, where it's like, oh well, I mean, you can say what you want to say, but in this moment, you're doing the thing you hate. So I like that extra bit. And for me, and 42-year-old Tito really enjoys seeing nuanced things like that, because it's not all just, black, no pun intended, black and white, but it's more nuanced. I really enjoy that. I think the first one does it for as good as a 92 film could do it, but I like the story better in the second one.
That's good. This might be almost a tie for me. But the nostalgia always kicks in, and I'm a fan of again, the original Clive Barker story and the fairy tale aspect to it, so I will say the original. Having said that, though, I'm such a fan of body horror. Body art too. Why not? It's art, special effects. Sure. So this was really close. Just that idea of anybody slowly metamorphosizing into something else, whether it's a Candyman or Jack Nicholson in Wolf or Jeff Goldblum in The Fly. That's slow kind of horror I am such a fan of, so it almost won it for me. Yeah. But I just, everything about so much cool stuff about the original. Like you said, the funeral procession at the end is so great. The kills, you didn't really know who was going to get it. In the new one, you knew exactly who was going to get it. Everybody who was an asshole in that movie, I knew the art critic was going to get it.
Yeah, they focus on certain people too long. Like the girl, you're like,
the
oh, she's going to die.
And
you're
the
like,
mirror
when's
is
she
going to
die?
The girl, why is the girl there? Why are we focused on that girl? And then she's back in front of the mirror. They were set up to be meat, and that's fine. I mean, they were great
Lambs
kills.
to the slaughter.
Right, but you knew everybody who was going to die in that one. I didn't know Bernadette was going to die. When I first saw the original, I was shocked when Bernadette died and the cutting of the Rottweiler head. There was just more shock value to that, more surprises in that one. So that's why the original still is still better for me overall.
Right. Yeah. I'm going to give it to the original. As much as I enjoy the story in the new one, I like the mystery aspect of the original. You're kind of on this journey with Virginia Madsen, kind of learning about this legend. It was the first movie, so they had to explain everything, and you had to kind of learn what was all about. And at the same time, it just kind of wove that mystery part with the social commentary. It wove it together so well that it just kind of, I don't know, it works on a different level than this one does. It's this one is more of a movie. Like you've got this kind of transformation story of this one character, whereas the other one was a lot more about like the Candyman legend itself. And
he was already an established character.
Yeah, he was in the forefront. So I gotta give it to 92.
Me too. Yeah. I like the story in the original one, but like Tito said, you couldn't have the sequel without the original to build upon. The sequel had a fantastic story in itself, building on everything that you guys just said, with Yahya's character slowly transforming into Candyman towards the end. It's hard to say that this is a remake because it's not like when we were watching The Blob last week, and it was not quite a beat-for-beat remake with, but the stories were so similar, just in two different time periods. Yeah. This one, they're two totally different stories, and I dug both of them.
Can I jump in very quick, though? Yeah. But everybody I told about us doing these two movies had no idea, unless they had seen it, and a lot of people had not seen it. I told a few people today, and all of them were like, oh, it's a sequel?
Yeah.
Right.
I thought it was a remake.
Everybody
thought it was a remake.
Everybody thought it was a remake.
Because everything's been getting reboots.
Yeah.
Right. And The Thing kind of did the same. They just called it The Thing, but that's actually a prequel. So it's
the one with Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
Right. Yeah, and you don't realize it until the end.
Until the end of the movie,
Yep. It's all leading up to the dog running.
Yeah, very close. Yeah, that's very spot on. To
this one does it.
These guys
one does it a lot better, though. And, it's a sequel, not a prequel, but,
less CGI.
Oh, totally.
Which kind of ruins the.
Yeah, I know. I like the practical
because I actually thought the story was pretty good. I thought
the
it was
story's
a pretty good
fine.
cast.
Well, they wanted to go practical, and they had built practical.
Right.
Not to get too off topic, but they built practical effects
for Sherman, right?
Because
there's the whole scene where he sees him in the mirrors.
No, I'm talking about The Thing.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Off topic with The Thing. Gotcha. Everything got glossed over with CGI because the suits, those creative suits, were worried that today's audience wouldn't appreciate it.
Right.
So they quickly went over everything haphazardly with CGI, and it shows, unfortunately. But back to this movie. Sorry.
But you prefer the original story, you would think?
I like both of them, actually, but I think I like the original better.
Yeah, it's hard to you take a good idea and you expand on it, but you needed that kernel to start with.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you don't have it, it doesn't.
Original did.
Yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't hit as hard. Yeah. They could easily fuck it up, they don't. I don't think.
No, they
So that
pay
helps.
a good amount of respect to the lore, to what the first one did.
Yeah.
So, which was nice to see. You don't really see that a lot in remakes or sequels.
I think
Which is
Wrath
great, and
of
last
Khan
week was
was
like
the
that
only
too.
movie that was a sequel that didn't bother with anything from the
Oh.
original
Yeah.
and made its own. It's like Wrath of Khan is truly the best sequel and its own movie at the same time.
The Wrath of Khan was almost a reboot for the franchise in itself.
Totally.
Because
Yep.
the first one was so boring.
God.
And people were so let down with this long, drawn out story that went almost nowhere. And then,
I just wheezed like Nedry. Did you hear that?
and then, Wrath of Khan came along and breathed a breath of fresh air into the franchise.
It broth?
It breathed. I didn't say broth.
No,
right?
I did. I was like, it broth. I know that's not a word.
Yahya Abdul-Mateen.
Yeah.
WNBC.
Yo-yo. Okay. Better special effects. Here we go.
There's a lot of just like blood splatter. That fucking bee stuff. I gotta go. I'm going original. Just the stuff with the bees, shit coming out of his mouth, making out with bees in your mouth.
Oh, yeah.
That shit's insane. I would never.
No way.
Maybe I would. I don't know. I could be a whore for money too.
That's true.
But
$23,000
that shit is
Tito.
wild.
No, I
Fucking
couldn't do
wild.
it. I would fucking die.
That is so wild. They were all over his face, and he was like, "Get over here," and he kissed her on the mouth.
Yeah.
A lot of that shit. Oh, and the other thing I would give it to, him crashing through the window backwards.
Oh, that was cool.
So good.
Yeah.
So good. However they're doing it is phenomenal. So I'm going to give it to that just because it's so like, they probably didn't make the movie for a lot of money, but that effect, both of those effects I think are phenomenal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I said, the body horror effects are super awesome in this, but you know, I'm with you. The original for the bees.
Yeah.
That stuff that you do, you just can't CGI that.
And he opens up his chest and he's got the fucking shit inside of him.
Beehives, man.
Yeah,
it's
I know.
God. Covered in bees.
Yeah, 92, because especially like when he opens his coat and it's the chest, the hollow chest.
Yeah, the rib cage.
And the bees are still there, and it's just like I said before, the imagery from this movie stuck with me for a long time. And like I said, it was one of those few movies that it was all horror. There wasn't, a lot of lightness to it. So it was it's like you weren't taken out of the horror. You just were, you were stuck in the seriousness and the scary stuff. And yeah, so I think the McFarlane Movie Maniacs toy that I had.
Oh, hell yeah.
Of Candyman.
I had that one somewhere.
Yeah. And you get that Ted Raimi scene in the beginning with the girl, and it's almost like a separate thing to itself.
Right.
Is like the beginning of a fucking slasher movie, a teen fucking horror
Right.
movie. There's some sex is going to happen, and then it turns on its head and it gives you a completely different movie that is just very dark.
Right.
Yep.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing is light.
I was just
There are
looking,
no down
and Clive
moments.
Barker actually wrote the screenplay apparently, along with this guy Bernard Rose, and I'm thinking of, obviously Hellraiser and Nightbreed, and I don't remember a lot of humor in either of those either.
Right.
So I think it's just the way Clive writes. I don't think he's a very funny guy.
Nightbreed, the only humor Nightbreed has is Narcisse, the guy with the cowboy hat who shaves his face or takes his face off. and puts it
Oh
back
yeah.
on.
But
That's pretty
that's also
much-
played for
Yeah.
it's body horror too. That's,
Oh, it is, but he's got the one-liners. He's got
Yeah.
a few cracks in there. There's
The
there's a little
Hellraiser
bit.
movies I've seen, it's almost accidental.
Yeah.
The funny
Well,
scenes
except for
accidental.
3. Like 3 has a lot of humor.
Oh, 3 is funny.
3 is my
Well,
one of
there's
my
a
favorites.
CD guy, right?
Right,
There's the guy with
right.
the CD head.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Which is
Ready for your close-up, Joey. Oh yeah. You just have to laugh at that one. It's fun though. It's fun.
Yeah, I'm going with the original as well. Giving it to the original for its practical effects, the real honeybees, and like Tito said, that amazing scene of him jumping backwards out the window. And I think the remake relied too heavily on CGI. So yes, absolutely, practical effects win over CGI every time.
It's usually the way it goes anyway, right? With us, anyhow. So better overall cast. We kind of covered that already. Let's jump to, would either movie make your rotation? Tito.
Yeah, I would probably. I'm realizing now after watching it this weekend, it would probably have to be a double feature every time I did it.
Yeah.
I would want to watch one and then watch the remake right after. So yes, but it would probably be like a maybe once a year, I might watch them back to back, and that's probably more now because it had been when I saw part one, it had probably been like 20 years in between watching one and then watching the newer one before watching them back to back recently and realizing, oh, there's such a great double feature there, connecting the two worlds. Short answer, yes.
All right. I don't know if either of these would. They're so good. Some movies are so good and so powerful that they're not ones I want to watch all the time. I want to revisit them occasionally and feel
them.
that effect.
Yeah.
Like I said, I didn't go back to the original for quite some time. And it was great seeing that again. So I don't know if it would make my rotation. Not because they're fantastic movies, but there's a lot of movies like that I don't want to go back to all the time.
Yeah.
Because I like to rediscover it, every so often.
Give yourself some time to like kind of reset your mind and not remember it so much.
Yeah.
I watched Pulp Fiction recently. I hadn't seen it in maybe 15 years.
Right.
And I was like, holy shit, this movie's good.
Yeah.
I forgot how good this movie was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those for sure.
I agree. Although I do think like doing it as a double feature, maybe once a year, I think might be something I'd do. I definitely prefer the first one. I think it's just like I said, the nostalgia, the iconic. I feel like I would watch that one more often. But
I probably would too.
And I feel like if I was gonna watch the second one, the new one, I would like you said, I would want to watch the first one first.
Yeah. I would have to
let
go
it
with
be a
that.
double
And
feature.
it's like a crisp hour and a half. Jeez,
Right.
Come on, America.
But I could picture myself watching the first one more and just on its own.
Yeah.
Like I don't need the other
You don't
ones
need the
for
other
it.
one.
But the other one kind of needs the first as a palate
It definitely
cleanser.
makes it better. It
Right.
helps. Yeah, it helps for sure.
Nice. Yeah, it would make my rotation. I hadn't seen the original until Sunday night, and I liked it. I'd watch it again. Absolutely. I think I'll get more out of it the more I watch it. But I like what you're saying, Mark, where it should be something to savor as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, one of those movies that you
It's-
you haven't seen it, we gotta watch Candyman.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. If somebody suggested watching, I'm like, yeah, I'm all over that.
Yeah.
Definitely, I'd watch that. It's funny though, because apparently I already saw the first one. I don't remember it, so I don't know if I would put the second one, the remake. I don't remember watching it the first time. So at first I said, well, maybe it won't make my rotation. But the more we talk about it, it's definitely a good film. And yeah,
Maybe it already has and you don't remember.
Yeah, I know.
It's had a few years.
Yeah.
Damn.
It's in a 2 or 3 year rotation.
That's it.
What are you gonna do?
Okay.
There it is.
There it is. Patent it and put it
Watched
on a
it
hook.
and-
You know what we didn't mention at all
Put it in your rotation.
is the music.
We didn't.
The original score.
The original
that
score
Philip Glass
is
theme.
phenomenal.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
Awesome.
Composer Philip Glass.
As iconic as the actual character, and it's haunting. Like
Yeah.
like his
So good.
it like just on its own. It's haunting just watching like the opening credits and the slow kind of crawl the overhead shot of Cabrini Green. But like even without it, like listening to that theme on your own,
Yeah.
it can give you like creepy vibes. It's
Yeah.
very, very cool.
And it was lacking in the new one, too.
Right,
We didn't
yeah,
have
there
it.
wasn't-
No.
And I feel like the movie needed it.
Did you watch the entire credits
Of the
Why was
when
there
they
a
do
scene
the
at the
puppet
end?
show at the end?
yeah.
Yeah.
They play the song throughout.
They
that.
did play
Yeah.
the
Oh,
They
yeah?
bring it back, but
Yeah.
yeah, and then that's the only time I noticed. I'm like, oh, it wasn't in the movie.
Right.
I'm glad that
because
they
it is-
kept it though and
yeah.
didn't like try to make a new theme.
No, they did. They kind of stepped back with the music. It was a couple of those like Stranger Things 80s like notes
Yeah.
here and there.
Yeah.
But not
Right.
I would
Yeah.
expect a movie made in 1992 about a housing project in Chicago to have more rap music,
Yeah.
and it didn't, and it blows my mind because the score is really, really good, but it almost feels, from my perspective, out of place based on what I think of 1992
Yeah.
and the kind of movies they made and what they would just try to jam in there.
Right.
But they were like, okay, yeah, you want to make this movie? And I get maybe for
Well, we
them
need a
it's
soundtrack to
throwaway.
go along with it. Yeah.
Right, but they give it this amazing, haunting score.
Right.
It's phenomenal.
So 92, like the early 90s, you're coming off the synth wave of the 80s, and this is like really before you had a soundtrack that went along with the movie,
Right.
With slasher movies and stuff. There was a period where big instrumental scores were used for even like slasher films. Listen to the score for like New Nightmare. Listen to the score for Child's Play 2 by Chris Young, who did the music for Tales from the Hood and Hellraiser. Child's Play 2 has a phenomenal score. Oh. It is a very good score for that movie, and this one, and Candyman as well. I mean, there was again, before soundtracks were a thing. You know, let's see what alternative band we can get.
Right.
They were going back to basic, big symphonic scores, which you didn't really. You had the 80s, and you didn't really have in the 70s. You didn't really have those types of orchestras until the early 90s. Back then, you didn't.
Well,
really have
this same year was the
60s, and the Universal Classics had big
Batman
big
Returns.
scores.
Like I remember the Batman Returns.
Oh yeah,
soundtrack
no, but
being
I'm talking
92.
for like horror movies.
No, I know.
It was like it's a weird thing. So it was nice to have a period when you had orchestra music again. I'm telling you, check out Child's Play 2. That opening theme.
Well,
is
and
incredible.
you mentioned he did Hellraiser, and
Oh, yeah,
the Hellraiser
Hellraiser,
score is really good.
Right.
That makes sense to me, though. I don't know. Like, I half expect a Cypress Hill or a Naughty by Nature song in this movie.
Cypress
and
Hill would've fit.
It doesn't come, which is fine. But when I'm watching it, I'm like,
stairs,
oh,
I expected people under the stairs to have that.
Right.
But it didn't. It also had a big musical score, if I remember correctly.
I think you're 100% right.
Yeah, it's just
Unless it's like music in the movie that people can hear.
Right.
What do we call that, Brian? I forget. That made
diegetic.
Diegetic.
That's it.
No, around the same time.
Beat them. What are you gonna do, Brian?
Missed it by that much.
But yeah, it's phenomenal. I really like that if it wasn't in the whole movie, at the very end, at least when they do the puppet show and give you the history of the different Candymen or people that they're giving you that music with the puppet show.
That is a cool notion. It's almost like every decade had a Candyman.
Yeah.
Yeah, not a bad idea.
Right. Well, it highlights that vicious cycle that that type of shit just keeps happening.
It's also driven by him. Like, he doesn't want to go away.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So unfortunately, like, he almost needs these things to happen to remain relevant within the community, right?
Right.
So, like, as terrible as these injustices are, they fuel the story of Candyman and what he is and how he continues his life. Right. Even though this incarnation of it isn't that, like, he's not a disadvantaged person. Tony, right? Anthony.
Yeah,
the
artist.
The character.
Abdul-Mateen's character. I mean, he has a really good home, and he was an accomplished artist, and his shit's getting kind of stale.
Anthony McCoy,
and he finds himself in this other world. The true injustice happens at the end of the movie to him when he's shot by the cop. But by that point, he's already Candyman.
Yeah.
Right. So I guess it fuels the.
I gotta say, that scene I was a little disappointed in, because I talked about the lack of surprise. So when the cop who tried to get what's her name? Forgive me.
Is it Tiana Paris?
Tiana Paris?
Yeah. Her name in the movie.
Scott, I think. No, I made that up.
No, it starts with a B, I think.
Bot.
Brianna.
Skybot. Very good.
Yeah, is it Brianna?
Yeah. Brianna. Yeah. So when he's trying to get Brianna to agree with him on the cover story, and she summons Candyman, I thought she was going to get killed, because whoever summons him gets killed. Right. And I thought the cop was going to get away because he didn't stick around. And I was like, oh, that's actually kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Because it's not, it goes beyond just racism. This is what Candyman does. But then it totally went to kill the cop, and I was like, oh, bummer. Okay.
See, I kind of like that.
I get it. He was a prick. It was more satisfying to see him go. I get why they did it, but there was that part of me that was like, oh, this is really interesting. It's not playing by the rest of the movie's rules of killing all the bad people in this movie, right?
Yeah, I suppose. The first one is weird because there doesn't seem any rhyme or reason other than the fact that he wants to get her in trouble so that she'll come to him.
Right.
Right, because she reminds him of his long-lost love.
Yeah.
But a lot of the deaths in that movie are, she says Candyman the one time, which creates this spiral effect of him killing everybody except her husband, oddly enough, and his girlfriend. He saves it for her. I guess maybe he always knew what was going to happen to her. But yeah, that one has this very kind of like sporadic.
Mm-hmm.
How do we get her out of these situations? Well, Candyman will just kill somebody and it'll get
Right.
her, and then she can escape. She'll fucking jump out of a window.
Yeah.
Oh, Virginia.
But as the sequels go on, the character evolves and changes. Look at
Right.
Jason. Jason's had like 20 different. He's afraid of water. He's not afraid of water. The lake changes in that movie. It's a tiny lake. It connects to New York. Whatever.
Sometimes hockey, sometimes baseball, sometimes
hockey,
soccer.
Yeah, the mask changes. He's fat. He's thin.
Yeah. Water polo. It's
Freddy Krueger. Just don't talk about him. He doesn't exist. Oh wait, yes he does. He comes into the real world. No, he does. Hey, whatever.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. Okay, MVP for the original movie. What's the MVP?
Tony Todd. And the bees. So I'll get Tony Todd because he comes with the bees.
He comes with the bees.
It's a
Bees are included in your Tony Todd figure.
box
Or the
set.
Candyman.
You said Tony Todd and the Bees. I was thinking that would make a good name for a
What
band.
great name for a band. Do-do-do-do-do-do.
Tony Todd and the Bees.
Candyman? Candyman.
Candyman himself.
Candyman is the winner.
Say it two more
Yeah,
times.
two
Don't
more
say
times.
it 2 more times.
How many times did I say it?
I don't
Three.
know.
I don't either.
Said it 3.
Yeah, Tony Todd for me. Hands down makes the movie.
I'm going Madsen.
Wow,
Yeah.
all right. Okay.
Yeah, I'm going
no
Madsen.
argument here.
Yeah.
Awesome
I,
preparation.
I picked Madsen too.
Did you
She-
really?
Well,
Good.
because she kind of she carries that movie.
She's the hero at the end.
She's a hero. She's kind of she's the audience perspective for most of it. I just and she's just
Adorable.
she's an awesome actress.
She's beautiful.
She's so that was like her heyday. She was just amazing.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I think that it's cool that she usually in a series like this, if you have this character, this horror icon, and you start a franchise, that is the only character that's going to show up continuously. But she actually shows up in her character is kind of kept throughout the whole 4 movies. So it's nice that they didn't kind of give up on her.
Yeah, she's always referred to.
Right.
Trying to get more boogie women in the mix. It's hard to
Right.
do. You don't
Right.
have many of them.
I didn't see Farewell to the Flesh.
I didn't see any.
Farewell to the Flesh is good.
It's not bad.
I should check
And
it
Day
out.
of the Dead's not horrible. There's definitely worse out there. It's
There's also
just I would
better.
definitely say it's the weakest of the whole series.
Yeah, if you're frittering away an afternoon.
But at least it's connected, and they don't kind of. It's not outlandish.
Yeah. I guess for me, if I think there's Candyman, that's that movie, then I know not even horror fans have seen that movie. My sisters have seen that movie. Everybody's seen that movie. It lives on. It didn't have 12 sequels. It hasn't been remade many, many times, but the character, and that has a lot to do with Tony Todd. It maintains. It maintains.
Like
even off that one movie.
They wanted to do a Candyman versus Leprechaun, and he
I
was the
saw
one
that.
that
He
was
said
like, no.
No.
Yeah.
He has too much respect for the character, and like that. That's huge.
Yeah.
Because
that cheapens it.
Because they could have easily done a money grab, and
yeah.
it probably would have made a
Right.
bunch of money. It would have gotten horrible reviews, but I
don't even think
those
I'd
are just
see
two
that.
different worlds.
That
They're
doesn't
just
make
two different
sense.
worlds.
Yeah.
But I think initially
No, I know.
it was
Yeah.
supposed to be
But it was off the success of
Pinhead versus Candyman,
Candyman.
and then that fell
That-
through.
yeah.
So then they pitched Leprechaun. He said no, and then I think
Chucky
we get the
versus
Freddy
Leprechaun.
versus Jason
Yeah.
movie. I think kind of comes out of that.
They've been trying forever
right
to
do team ups.
and they haven't done one since Freddy versus Jason.
Rightly so.
That movie
besides
sucked.
like the AVP stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
But let's give it another chance. Some time has gone by. Brian, MVP for you in the original.
I said Virginia Madsen.
You
I
saw
agree with
All
Derek.
right, so
You know,
you got
that's
them.
side nipple. It'll
Yeah,
get him every
side
time.
nipple. Yeah.
Gets me
They
every
got
time.
me.
Like that
You
side
got-
boob? Well, you shouldn't, because
You
it's
got me.
my side boob.
Fucking- I was like, oh, she's taking a bath. Okay.
Good for her.
Good for you, Virginia. Keep it clean, baby.
Keep it clean.
Keep it clean.
Tito's on his way.
Light some candles.
You'll be
Yeah,
howling when Tito comes a prowling.
Kick that asshole out of your house.
No.
Fucking come over.
I thought you were going somewhere with her asshole. It was gonna get weird.
No,
Keep
I'm
that
a
No, I
asshole
get
clean.
it. No.
I am a
I know
gentleman.
you're a gentleman and a squire. I get it.
Scholar. A scholar.
Scholar. What'd I say? You could be a squire.
Squatter. You called me a
You're
squatter.
squatter.
Gentleman and a
You're
squatter.
a gentleman and a squire. A squatter. And a scholar.
Go get my sword.
I don't want the wart to be my squire. So, MVP remake.
Candyman. I just think the character's just so good. All the acting in the movie is really, really good. But the character of Candyman really makes it, and the expansion of his story, the lineage of Candyman, who has been Candyman. That's just, across the board.
I'm going with the makeup. The body horror is awesome in that movie.
Love the
MVP
body
for me.
horror.
I do.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to give you some body horror.
Yep. I got Yahya.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
You
good.
got Yahya
He's
as
a
well?
good actor.
Yahya
Yeah,
Abdul-Mateen.
He's
not
quite,
Yaha.
he is quite good.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is quite good.
He is good. He is a great actor.
I didn't
is.
see the last Aquaman. I heard it wasn't very good, but
I didn't either.
I almost
it
did because
wasn't.
he's in it.
Yeah, he's got kind of a. It's interesting. He comes off as like he can be a badass, but
Yeah.
in this there's a lot more heart, I guess, or not heart. I don't know. There's
I mean, he's very likable.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah,
Toward
relatable.
the end,
for
when
sure.
he's dying, basically,
Right.
and she's taking care of him,
Yeah.
that's hard.
yeah.
Oh yeah, he plays he was Dr. Manhattan in the
Yeah.
Oh, and the Watchmen show.
Oh,
Right?
Yeah.
show.
The
Yeah.
HBO show.
spoilers if you never saw it. It's a surprise at the end.
Damn it,
That
Tito.
shit came out years ago though.
Yeah, and they're not doing any more.
Well, now you're really a
2019.
squire.
Yeah,
Do
squatter
that
for
everybody.
sure.
You're a squatter. All right, that's Candyman.
That's Candyman.
That's
Candyman being
Candyman.
Candyman.
Right?
Right.
The
So
Candymen.
we all, 4 out of 4 dads recommend both these
Yes.
movies.
See it.
He can
Yeah.
make the sunshine
Absolutely.
That's right.
and sprinkle it with dew.
Yep. Sammy Davis Jr. was the original Candyman.
He was. He had a hook and everything. Oh, no, he had a
right.
fake
Yeah,
eye.
he had a glass eye.
Yeah, glass, yeah, that'll
Yeah.
do it.
He had
Poked
bees
it out
behind
with-
that glass
Yeah,
eye.
right.
I'm the
That's it.
Candyman, bitch. Hey, Frankie, say my name. That's a horrible.
Tap dance on bees.
What's making our geek flag fly, gentlemen? Tito.
Oh shit.
Shit
I
is
don't know,
making your
man.
geek.
Candyman.
What I don't want to pick the same shit I picked last time. I thought I wrote something down and I forgot all about it. Skip me. Come back to me.
Okay.
All right.
I will go with, I saw it last week. You recommended the Cobwebs channel off of YouTube,
Yes, I did.
Brian. I started watching that. Guys,
Oh, it's a channel.
it's a
Yeah.
YouTube channel.
I saw you guys talking about it, but I thought you were talking about there's a movie called Cobwebs.
No. I thought you
No,
didn't listen
I-
to the episode.
No. It was on the text.
No, it was
Oh,
a
on the
yeah,
text.
I was,
you guys were
I
talking
was
about
just
text.
calling it Cobwebs. No, it's a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And you had recommended, and the guy knows horror. His list of great werewolf movies is
I like-
terrible, but everything else he has is
Oh
good.
Yeah,
He's a huge Fright Night fan.
I like
That's
that he's
why.
got like different categories. Like,
Yeah,
he'll- like
the
these
full-
are my favorite movies to gear up for Halloween. These are my favorite fall-centered movies. These are my favorite, werewolf movies.
Mm-hmm.
He does like his favorite Hammer movies. He does his favorite, and he's got
Yeah.
like a list of 10 or 20 movies that he'll do.
Cool.
His videos usually run about 20 to 30 minutes long, and I like the guy.
Nice.
I
Yeah.
like that he's recommended a lot of obscure stuff that I haven't seen.
What's
has.
his What's his
And I
werewolf list that you don't?
Well, the
agree with?
the howling is further up than it should be. It should be farther down than it is. And
The
there's
original
no way
is the
you,
number one.
And there's no way you put cursed on the same list as the greatest word. What the fuck you thinking? But anyway, aside from that shiz, he's good.
Nobody's
So,
perfect.
I'm the
No,
Howling
you're
is
right, which is-
too high?
The howling is too high.
I thought Howling was one of your favorites.
No, it is. Mark is saying when it's too
No,
high, it's
when
like
it's
at the
too
beginning.
high on
it's
the
not,
list.
It's not as near as number one. It's
counting
too high
from
up.
10 to 1.
Oh, from the bottom.
Yeah.
From the bottom up.
Yeah.
Like number
Oh,
one.
it's
was-
okay.
Yeah. And
So he
I
ends
see.
with his number one, but Mark says he started with Howling. It's
yeah,
too high up
howling
his list.
needs to be way lower on
And
that
Cursed
list.
is his number one?
No, Cursed was on the list, which is just preposterous.
It even made
That's the one with
Cursed is
Christina
terrible.
Ricci?
Yeah.
How many movies are on this list?
Oh, I don't know. I don't remember. I just
Probably-
remember
More than
like-
10?
probably 10 to 15.
How much were there? Was like 15 of them, right?
Yeah, it's
15?
usually about
There's
that.
probably about 6 really good
Werewolf
werewolf
That's true.
movies. Like
That's
legit
true.
good.
Yeah, but the
werewolf
howling
movies.
goes
It
way
should go before the
goes to-
Cursed.
Yeah,
It should go after the Curse.
He's got Not the underrated ones, though. I'm talking about the top.
I'm
just
just
showing one of
him
his
the
lists.
Yeah.
like I just happened to open YouTube and it's right
Howl
there
is a
because
great
I
werewolf
subscribe.
movie, but no way in hell does it go ahead of The Howling. Come on. Anyway, the whole point is I watched the dude's channel. He's awesome, and he recommended a movie called Primal Rage. It's an 80s movie that slipped by me, and it's basically about a doctor that operates on a baboon, a rabid baboon, or it's got a disease, and the baboon escapes and bites somebody, and that person bites someone, and you get
so
basically
on and so
a pre-28 days later kind of rage
like your
virus.
story.
Yeah. Wait, what?
Your story.
Which one?
That's your story.
It's the Mark
Which
McCrana
story?
story.
The Primal Rage story, Mike McCrana. Yeah,
Oh.
where you start biting people. And
Well, that's out of lust, Tito. Let's.
Those are
when
love
was
bites.
this movie made?
This was made in the early 80s. I don't know. I can't remember the exact date. It's streaming on Prime, I believe. There's two. There's another movie called Primal
Oh,
Rage.
2018. Okay,
Don't
that's
see
what I
that
was saying.
one. See the one with the
It's like
baboon.
Gorilla.
A scientist at a Florida university that figures accidentally creates a rage virus while conducting experiments to restore dead something or other.
And 28 days later,
Dead brain tissue. Brain tissue.
Tissue.
It's just experiments.
is that
with
head cheese, Mark?
baboons. No, it's dick cheese.
Dick cheese.
Dick cheese.
How is Dick Cheese?
Richard Cheese, he's great.
Richard
he's a,
Cheese.
he's a talented.
Hey, he's a Gouda.
He's a good guy.
He's a Gouda guy.
He's a good guy, bada bing.
And the other thing I have was on Shudder, the latest VHS movie premiered.
yeah.
VHS Beyond. Brian, you would like this one.
Yeah?
It's six stories caught.
It's an anthology?
VHS tapes. Yeah, you know the VHS.
Yeah, the
Yeah, I haven't watched any of them, but I didn't know they were
I've never
anthologies.
seen the
They're
VHS
anthologies.
movies
Yep,
either.
they're found footage movies. That people find on old VHS
Like
tapes.
porn?
Well, no,
Oh.
there's no porn.
Amateurs?
No,
Well, that's not fun.
no. These are scary, not
A lot of
sexy.
underneath shots.
Oh, hi, Mark. I think a video sexy.
Just like 5 straight minutes of
Little
underneath.
swimsuit videos.
Nobody wants to see that.
Vacation
Come on, America.
on holiday.
This installment deals with sci-fi horror. So
Okay.
there's a lot of aliens and stuff in it. You would dig it.
So are the other movies like broken up by themes? Is it like creatures or
Yeah,
is
there's
it
creature
slashers?
features, there's a slasher,
But I mean,
there's zombies.
You said
there's
this one's
other-
like sci-fi horror. Are the
yeah,
other ones
this
like
this
broken up
one
by
does a
themes?
lot of other ones have had like a segment with an alien in it or something. There was VHS, VHS2, all different stories.
Yeah.
VHS Viral. Then there was VHS 94, and then another one 98, something like that. That last one
89.
wasn't that great, but this one was pretty good. And the stuff that they do with it, they mix sci-fi and horror, and it's cool.
Nice.
Check it out. I
Very
really
nice.
enjoyed this one. Most of the stories, phenomenal.
Excellent.
That's all I got.
Cool.
I'm really digging Agatha all along. I
started
started watching
watching
that, and it's great. And I'm
Did
really
you watch today's episode?
I haven't yet.
I
no.
didn't either. I'm just
No, me either. I'm
okay.
not quite.
And I'm really digging Marvel in general right now. Like the Thunderbolts preview looked pretty good.
Oh, the trailer looks great.
Yeah.
I like Agatha because I just like when they do extra other shit.
Yeah.
Everyone. So I just like it's a show
And I
about
like that the
witches and it's fun and you don't
and the
really
witches
think about
in it
anybody
are all
else.
witches that have been in the comics. It's not like
Yeah.
they just kind of threw together a bunch of a coven. And I think a lot of these smaller characters, they're setting them up for better things. I mean, even the fact that I think we're going to start seeing more payoffs, which is good. Like we might end up
Yeah.
seeing the Black Knight that they teased in the end of
I
Eternals
was gonna
because
say I hope so because they haven't been
because
too
in the
good with that.
in the beginning of the King in Black's storyline, like he ends up using that sword, and it's like because it's related to the symbiotes.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think it would be it's cool that we're going to start seeing more stuff. I also saw that Dogma finally is.
Yeah, I saw that today too.
It's no longer owned by Weinstein.
Kevin got the rights back.
Kevin got the rights back, so they're going to do like a whole tour and a reissue, and I fucking cannot wait because I've been waiting forever for it to be on digital. I love that movie. It's pretty much my favorite Kevin Smith movie, and I fucking love it.
Nice.
And then of course next week I'm going to New York City with a couple of my friends. And
Hey,
it's gonna be fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all happening. It's all happening. It's all happening.
So I'm looking forward to that.
Hadn't heard that.
Yeah.
Maybe you guys
Just a
will
little,
meet
just a
the
little,
Ninja
just a
Turtles.
little trip.
Just springing that on us now.
just a
They'll
little
meet the
trip.
Ninja
Why didn't you
Turtles.
talk
I
about
hope
it
so.
before?
Start spreading the news.
So I'm gonna piggyback off of yours. This was my second thing, but you just brought up Kevin Smith. So today I was listening to the podcast, the Joe Dante podcast, the Movies That Made Me, and he's got Kevin Smith on it this week.
Oh, cool.
And he's talking about his new movie, the 4:30 movie, which I guess is now streaming.
Oh, I saw a trailer for that. Looks
yeah,
good.
it does look good. But the thing that I don't know if you knew this, I'm going to bring up because I didn't know it, and even Kevin Smith didn't know it. Kevin Smith was talking about, Mankiewicz, the guy that does the AMC.
Yeah, Ben Mankiewicz.
The Turner Classic Movies.
Yes.
His dad was a screenwriter.
Yeah.
And movie producer, I guess. So his father, Mankiewicz's father, I don't know his first name, but anyway, wrote the original draft for what would become Batman '89.
Oh.
And Kevin Smith was talking about it. He says, I had this, Starlog magazine from 1983, had Return of the Jedi on the cover. He says, but inside was this article that I couldn't stop reading, and it was all about Mankiewicz writing this script for Batman. And he says, I can't wait to see this movie. I can't wait to see it, blah, blah, blah. He says, we're finally going to get, the Batman that I've been wanting to see.
Yeah.
And he says, I don't know if you guys know, I'm a huge Batman guy. You know how Kevin Smith is. And Joe Dante says, all right, funny story, Kevin. He says, I was almost going to direct that movie.
Yeah, I remember him saying
the Mankiewicz version?
Yes.
Yeah.
He said
cool.
the studio had picked him because Dante was fresh off of Gremlins at the time. This was mid-'80s.
Oh, Warner Brothers.
And they're like, you just made a ton of money for us. Your movie's doing great. He says, we want to give you this. And they gave him Mankiewicz's script, and he loved it. And he was, yes, I'll do it. And he said, I went home over the weekend, and I thought better of it. And he says, I had to turn them down.
Wow.
And they thought he was crazy for doing it. He says, they almost drove me to Butler saying, like, why, you nuts, kid?
Yeah.
Well, why don't you want to do this? He says, I don't believe in the character. He says, I'm a Joker guy. He says, I just don't know if I can do Batman justice. He says, I think my version will stink. He says, I really don't think I can bring him. He says, I love Batman in the comics.
Yeah.
He says, but I don't think I can bring Batman to the screen the way you want me to bring him to the screen. I don't think I'm your guy.
Wow.
So they're like, okay. And then, did a few more revisions and whatnot. It went on to Tim Burton and Goyer, I think. And was it David S. Goyer ended up writing the final script?
It was Sam Hamm.
Sam Hamm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I thought that you might not have known that, but apparently you did.
I remember him saying he was offered Batman, but I didn't know the details of it.
So listen, check out the latest episode of. I'm not a huge Kevin Smith guy. But I did listen to it. I do like Joe Dante's podcast.
I love Joe Dante.
Even though his partner there doesn't let him get a word in edgewise half the time.
Oh, I hate that crap.
That Josh guy.
I don't want to hear the partner. Let me hear Joe Dante.
Yeah, I know. So
partner.
it was cool to hear Joe Dante actually tell a story for
man.
once, and it was all about Batman. And it was a tidbit I didn't know. I wanted to mention this last week, and I totally forgot. I had seen the movie Speak No Evil, the one with McAvoy.
Yeah.
It was fucking good.
Yeah.
It was so freaking good. And now it's available to stream, to rent or buy. I've seen it on Amazon Prime, but man, does McAvoy play a good bad guy. Oh, my God.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah, he is.
The original is on Shudder, too. So
it's originally a Danish movie.
I was going to say, Scandinavian or Danish.
Yeah, it's a Danish movie.
Yes.
And they pay homage to that in the movie because the little kid in the movie, you see him in the trailer, he does this thing with his tongue, like he cut his tongue off, he mimes that he got his tongue cut off, so that's not a spoiler, it's in the trailer. But it turns out that his family was Danish.
Oh.
And McAvoy had glommed onto his family beforehand, and he's the only I'm not going to spoil too much of it, but
nice.
That was an homage to the first original movie because the little kid is Danish and he doesn't speak good English anyway, and then he gets his tongue cut out.
So is the original streaming for free?
This is what you need to do, huh?
Is the original streaming?
The original's on Shudder, so it would be free.
Right.
But the new one is to rent or buy. Might be on Vudu.
It is.
Pull the trigger on it, Derek.
I kind of want
to. You would definitely like it.
We'll see how much money I spend next week.
Oh, forget it.
I might come home and buy because Cuckoo's on there. I want to watch Cuckoo. I want to watch Trap. I want to watch.
Trap.
There's a bunch of movies that are on there right now, but they're all like $20 each.
Yeah. So Kathy and I watched. Speaking of Shyamalan, Kathy and I watched
the Watchers. Yeah. Did you like it?
It was okay.
Oh, the Dakota Fanning one?
Yeah, the Dakota
I want to read the
Fanning
book.
one.
It's based on a book.
That was directed by Shyamalan's daughter.
Yeah. I saw a couple of reviews.
Yeah, we watched it over the weekend, and it was just all right.
Well, and I really liked the one with the cabin. The
Knock at the Cabin.
Oh, the one
Knock at the Cabin.
Batista?
Yeah,
I still haven't
that was
seen
okay.
I haven't seen that either.
Yeah.
I liked it.
I think that's pretty much it for me. I was trying to keep a mental note. Oh,
Let's
I did
bring
see,
up because we were going to say we were going to bring it up. So I'll
Yes,
remind-
but before
Joe Bob's got another special.
He
coming
does,
out, and
yes.
Halloween. What is it? Another Halloween special?
Yeah, it's like another Halloween hootenanny hoedown,
Right.
whatever he wants to call it this year.
Okay.
But yeah,
Does he announce what he's doing, or
No, they
No,
don't.
not
They
yet.
don't announce it until it's on.
Okay.
So yeah. But that's coming up. Is it Halloween night?
No, it's
not Halloween
like
night.
a
It's
week
like the week before.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Now you make up.
Yeah. No, the only other thing I wanted to say was I watched that movie that you recommended, Dark Harvest, and I really liked it.
It's good, isn't it?
I really liked it. I had it figured out halfway through about the brother. I'm like, oh, okay. And then it did turn out I was right. But then that twist at the end, it was
what
good.
a twist!
Oh, what a twist!
Great,
Yeah,
great.
better than
special
Shyamalan
effects.
could have done. I'll tell you that.
Ooh.
No, I did like it though. I did like that.
I agree.
Yeah,
That 50s atmosphere.
it was a
and-
cool.
Yeah. If you haven't seen
No,
it,
I
it's Dark
haven't.
Harvest.
I wanna
Yeah.
watch
Good
that,
Halloween
Yeah,
movie.
Sawtooth Jack.
Yep.
was the creature.
Yeah.
Great
Yeah.
creature effects.
Yeah,
too.
it really is.
Oh, you were talking about
Yeah, he
and I
mentioned-
recommended that to. I recommended that, and I recommended In a Violent Nature to a bunch of people. They were thankful I
I've
recommended.
heard really good things about that movie.
Which one?
In a Violent Nature.
That's funny
Nature.
because I
Yeah.
seem to be the only one to like it. All my
Really?
friends I recommended.
That's one that you
to.
talked about with the
Yeah,
it's
I
from the point of view
recommended
of the
it
killer.
to Dean, and he texted me back, and he and his wife were not happy. He and Jen were like, "What the fuck did you do?"
Dean will never be on the
watching the guy.
podcast again.
But they
thanks to
did
you.
no, he'll be because they did watch Dark Harvest and they liked
Is
it.
Dark
Yeah.
Harvest on Shudder?
It's on Amazon.
Prime.
Oh, it's on Prime.
It's on
right
Prime.
now. All right.
Oh, easy enough.
Yeah. Dark Harvest is fun. Short movie, Tito.
Yes.
Yeah, I just saw it. An hour and
Yep.
a half. I love it.
And
Yep.
if you need to be in a Halloween mood, there it is.
Yeah. No, it was really good. I
Always.
recommend that one too, Mark.
Cool.
Thank you.
No problem. Well, every now and then I'll throw in a good movie.
Yeah.
Not often. Speaking of bad movies, Mousetrap is on
Yeah,
The
yeah.
Killer.
it is.
the Killer Mickey Mouse movie.
Oh, so they get
yeah,
Peacock
you
gets
told
all
me
those
about that.
movies, huh?
Yeah, they do.
That and Winnie the
movies
Pooh
on
and
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
we
were
were
in
talking
here
about
last
that.
week,
Yeah.
but I saw Blood and Honey
did
too.
see it?
Yeah.
Oh, it's fucking awesome.
How
Yeah.
did they do?
Better than the
Yeah?
first.
Yeah.
Which is, not a
It's
bar
got
set,
what?
but still,
Piglet, Tigger, and
Owl.
Owl.
Oh,
Okay,
the shit they do with Owl is amazing. Yeah.
nice.
Who goes there?
Owl, man. Flies around, don't litter. That
a
it?
hoot.
Did I miss
Don't
anybody?
I think that's
Just
it.
really quickly.
Oh, that's
Oh,
right,
yeah,
Tito.
Tito, that's right,
we
buddy.
gotta go back to Tito.
We were talking about, Brian, you were listing off movies that you want to see that were kind of in that pilgrimy.
Yeah.
or-
Yeah. The folk horror.
Yes, folk
Yeah.
horror. There we go.
Yeah.
So I ended up watching, yeah, because it makes me think of pilgrims, or Mormons or Puritans.
Yeah.
Amish.
The Crucible.
Amish, yeah. So I ended up watching Apostle the other day.
How was it?
which is-
I haven't seen that one yet.
It's
That's
not
on my
bad.
list.
It's Gareth Evans who
Yeah.
did the
Raid.
Raid movies. There's some action. You could tell it's like scaled back a lot because it's not. They don't want it to seem too absurd. But it's shot. A lot of the action scenes are shot like the Raid in these very like pullouts. And there's a lot of really cool kind of kills and bloody, and it's kind of supernatural and kind of not and cultish. And Michael Sheen and Dan Stevens are in it. And
Oh,
they're,
nice.
They're both very good.
I like Michael Sheen.
It has a twisty ending. It's not bad.
Good.
It's not.
Good.
It
That's
was
another
pretty
one that was
say what a
recommended
twist.
by
Oh,
this
it was
pretty good.
the Cobwebs channel guy.
Yeah, it was pretty
Yeah.
good. I liked it.
Yeah, he does have good recommendations.
He did.
Yeah, I wrote down a couple that I want to see. An Apostle was on the list. I haven't seen that
Yeah.
one.
Good. I liked it.
either.
I liked it. It was entertaining.
Yeah, that's where I got
More
that
respect to
Ritual,
them.
which I watched and I really
Oh,
liked.
Ritual
I
is
did
awesome.
watch that one too.
That's
Is that the one with Anthony Hopkins?
Nope.
No.
Nope. This one's Rafe Spall, who was one of the Andes in Hot Fuzz, and he was actually in all the.
That's right, he was.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
Bet you
I
don't
remember
wonder why we
mothers-
called them the Andes.
Passing around here.
They're both named Andy.
Yeah. You've got a mustache. I know.
Everybody and their mums packing around here. Like who? Farmers. Who else? And their mums. Farmers' mums.
Oh, murder. Change the fucking record.
Great big bushy beard.
Oh, boy. Hot
So
Fuzz
are we doing
was
Hot
great.
Fuzz next time?
Have we done Hot Fuzz
We
yet?
have.
You know,
we
Brian,
should do-
guys,
we
we
haven't?
have done.
No,
Yeah.
we should do the entire
We
trilogy.
have done so many episodes.
We have.
We have done the whole trilogy.
We did.
We have.
We did the
Episode
Blood
where
and
we
Ice Cream
talked
one?
about all
Yeah.
three of
Yes,
them.
we
Yeah.
did. You know, you
Where
could
can I go back and listen to that, Mark?
You know, we have done so many episodes.
You can. We
Brian.
deleted them all. Sorry. What are you gonna do?
It's too late.
Well, there it is.
There it is.
You had your chance.
We've been telling you this for 6 years now. You had your shot. No, don't listen to Tito. He's a maniac, the squire. Squatter. They're still there, and like tonight's appetizer, I couldn't even remember if we had done a top urban myths. Guys, this is your chance to prove us wrong. You can go back to past episodes,
That's right,
and find out if we did in fact do an appetizer twice or already talked about a movie. I'm sure we have.
Yeah, we're old. We forget stuff.
That's right.
It's all right because our answers change.
That's true.
right. Our tastes change
Most of the time,
Movies fall out of favor all the time.
Derek loves Brie Larson now.
I know.
That's right. Go back to
and
the
Robert
time when he
Pattinson.
did.
There was a time when I didn't.
Yes.
That's right. Brian loves Zack Snyder now. Go back to the time that never existed. I'm sorry, but you can hear him rant about Zack Snyder.
right.
It's hilarious. Brian, where can they go for all this?
Well, and Mark, we're not going to be on next week either. So to tide you over, because we're going to be in New York as of a week from tonight, so we won't be recording. They can go to www.3gdpodcast.com. That's www.
The number 3.
gdpodcast.com, and you'll be able to find all of our past episodes there to tide you over for that week that we will not be putting out a new episode. I thought Tito was laughing over there. So
No, sorry. I was agreeing with you. Everything you were saying sounded right.
Yeah, okay, thanks, Tito. My script advisor.
I feel right, Brian.
At the website, if you could, please leave a 5-star rating and review. It goes a long, long way to help push our little show a bit further forward from the rest of the podcast pack. And most importantly, it makes it easier for others to find us while they're searching. And at the website are links to our social media presences. We can be found at Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, now X, and our audio can be found weekly on YouTube as well. And let's see, we have a Ko-fi page. Ko-fi is a spot where if you like us and would like to make a small donation, a donation of any size would be greatly, greatly appreciated. Helps keep the show running because, as we say, podcasting is not cheap. And is there anything I've forgotten about? Oh, yes. One other thing is if you're not a subscriber, we encourage you to go to the website and hit one of these shiny buttons to the podcast platform of your choice, and you will never miss an upcoming episode if you do so. And with that, I believe that's it. So thank you out there, everybody, for listening, and back to you, Mark.
Yeah, give us money because we need to go to New York. And if you don't like our show and need a break from us, give us money so we can go on more trips and you'll be without chores for a couple. No, that's
don't listen to Mark. None of that goes towards
it
Derek's
doesn't.
voodoo habit or Tito's sneakers
or
Mark's and mine action figures. So.
Well, they don't know how many sneakers I have.
You have 2, one for each foot.
Damn it, Brian! You just gave it all away. Our whole operation.
Jesus, Tito! If you weren't a fucking centipede, you wouldn't have.
Oh God, a centipede with the head of Tito. There it is, folks. That's what I'm leaving you with.
The human Tito-pede.
The human Tito-pede.
That's hilarious. Human Tito did pee.
Well, thank you guys for bearing with us on yet another episode of Three Geeky Dads. We'll see you in a couple of weeks where we will be back with another something old, something new to continue the Halloween season.
Something borrowed, something.
Very clever.
I like that. Oh, yeah. So for anybody still listening, for Three Geeky Dads, I'm Mark.
I'm Derek.
I'm Brian.
I'm Tito.
Get the hell out of here.
I'm Yahya.
Keep watching those friggin' skies. You don't need a reason. Just do what I tell you.
The bees.
The bees. Watch the bees.
Watch the bees.
They're in the skies. The bees. Let's talk Wicker Man one time.
Yeah.
We got a Wicker Man remake.
Oh, they do. Oh, that would be an actual good one.
Yeah.
I forgot that was.
I just watched that recently.
Which one? The original or the?
No, we all watched the original.
We did
one.
not that long
then,
ago.
Like after that, I watched the remake.
The remake
with Lily Sobieski. Whatever happened to Lily Sobieski?
Oh yeah, she is in that.
Yeah.
She went to Brown.
She got old.
Did she really?
I think she went back.
Is she still there? Is that why we haven't seen her?
She went to Brown. Isn't that where Natalie Portman? Where did Natalie Portman go to?
Natalie Portman went to Harvard.
Oh, Harvard, not
Harvard.
Brown.
Yeah.
Oh.
She's smart as a fucking whip, man.
Yeah.
Who? Natalie Portman?
Yeah.
And Emma Watson
And
went
super
to.
hot. Emma Watson went to
Went to
Brown.
Brown.
Chaz Bono went to Brown.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Remember that?
Dan DeVito's daughter went to Brown.
That's true.
Oh, yeah?
My sister acted in a play with Danny DeVito's daughter.
Rhea Perlman's
I can't
daughter
remember.
went to
Yeah,
Brown
they
too.
were at the same acting school, and they got to know each other. Yeah, my parents met
Thanks,
Danny
Brian.
DeVito and Rhea Perlman. Well, what happened? Sorry, I was in my own
No. I
conversation.
said
I
Rhea
had
Perlman's
zero
daughter
interest.
went there too.
No.
Yeah,
I got it.
I hope when we come back, your intro is the Yahya and the Abdul-Mateen.
I'm gonna.
Oh,
I'm gonna.
there you go.
I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it right, too.
The second.
All right, let's go.
Let's do it.
So I wrote a dumb joke.
That's okay.
I tried, but
Did you hear ours last week?
from last week.
no, I haven't had a
You
chance to
haven't
listen
heard it
to it
yet?
yet. No.
I had the best. I had the best one.
It was spectacular.
It was so bad. You were missed.
Oh,
That wasn't great.
Thank
missed
you.
you guys.
That was a show. Did you get your fucking Chromeo on?
dude, but it was a great show. They
Those
were
are
awesome.
Degenerates.
Definitely go see it again. All right, so this is how it goes.
Crusty jugglers.
When I go like this, say that's fair, right? Okay, just say that.
Oh, all right.
Oh, okay.
All right, okay.
What was the signal again?
With a wink. Don't say it if I don't have.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
all right.
all right.
So it's like Simon said.
So, little known fact: Tony Todd had real bees on him, and he got paid $1,000 for every sting he got, and he ended up with $23,000 total. Hey.
No
seems
shit.
I forgot
You
to
forgot
signal.
to do
Shit,
it.
I forgot to
That
signal.
sounds fair.
So then you guys say, "Yeah, that sounds." No,
Yeah.
that's fair, right?
That's
and I said,
fair.
That's
right.
fair, right.
And then I say,
I was ready to go.
Me too.
I guess that's in the eye of the beholder. Oh, yeah, I have to say it, beholder.
Beholder.
Yeah, you gotta say B.
Yeah.
holder.
But that's the joke.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
It'll be better once we
Yeah.
we get it.
Once I remember the key.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, when I do this, Derek, when I do this, you do your thing, and then we all say our
Then
thing.
I really screwed myself up too because I was like,
Tito, you got to kick me to remind me to point
Yeah.
to Derek so he can point to us.
I'm gonna smash a can really hard on the ground. That means you go.
Oh, me.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know what you're supposed to do. But
I don't
you figure
either.
it
You're
out.
going to get up and do a jig.
all right.
It's the Mark Show, starring me. Hi, Mark.
It's the Mark Show, and I've got lots of good guests. Oh, that doesn't rhyme. My God.
The bees. Oh, no, not the bees. Oh, the bees.
Halloween.
Edit song into show. Edit into.
Silver Shamrock.
It's almost time,
It's
kids.
time, kids.
They'll have a good joke soon. We promise. Stay tuned.
It'll happen. All life is a joke. It's my little kind of cock ring clap.
If you have to go, do it with a smile.
That's very good, bro. All right.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Let's do this.
And just like, you know, I think that they're on the, you know.
Chef Ramsay says, it's wrong!
Hell's Kitchen with Chef Ramsay. It's all dick cheese all the time. Dick cheese. I thought it was that cheese around your dick. They don't.
It's a cold
They
cut
don't-
meat jelly.
Welcome back, Derek.
I'm
we
sorry.
missed you.
I'm
We
sorry.
missed you,
Jelly
pal.
is-
That's all right. I
need to- I
can't say
shouldn't-
Yahya, so don't feel me. Yahya.
You know what's as good as Scrapple?
Scrapple.
Scrapple cheese?
Scrapple.
It's like Snapple.
Not really.
With scraps. Scrapple. Interesting. It looks like what do you call that? Spam?
Spam. But it's worse.
Spam.
It's
Spam.
gray.
Spam.
It's gray spam.
It's gray
Gray
spam.
spam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's cram.
That sounds
It's
appealing.
like big in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, the
Well, there
Pennsylvania
you go.
Dutch. They
Yep.
love it.
Yep. That's when my grandfather grew up in that part of the state.
That's how white people should.
That's right. Anyway. Tonight, as Mark mentioned,
Sorry. Sorry.
Together.
It's all right.
Yeah, white people shit.
Drink your drink.
Sorry. I am.
Have your cider drink. Have your lager
Have
drink.
another cider jack.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah, what are you going to do? There it is.